What's up, trash talkers? I'm Devin. I don't always know what I'm talking about, but I know I'm right. I'm here with the one and only Seth, King Kong, Elvis, whatever you want to call him. I'm excited for the topics we got today. The fight game has been something special last few months, so let's get to it. The first thing that I want to talk about is we had a lot of great fight night cards the last few weeks that have just been absolutely phenomenal. We've had Emmett versus Burgos, Poirier versus Hooker. Those are both two potential fight of the night candidates right off there. The only thing that would be in front of them would probably be Zhang versus Joanna. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes, I do remember.
Yeah, Zhang versus Joanna was like the only hematoma I ever seen worse than Joanna was probably London's own Mark Hominick. It was that night was crazy. That was a lot of fun to watch. That was and then the main event that night, they could not follow up with that. It was what's his name?
See, myself, yeah. I always manage to miss the good ones. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always doing something else or something like. Then you tell me about these good fights after.
Yeah, I know. So like the thing is with a lot of these fights that just happened that were so great was they had switched to the UFC Apex. You know where that is in Vegas?
Yep.
They switched to the UFC Apex right after the Florida shows. So Dana White was trying to find anywhere he could throw the fight, so they ended up throwing it at the UFC Apex. And the UFC Apex is 5 foot diameter, smaller than the championship full size cage. So when they had switched over to these events, like the UFC Apex was just absolutely throwing out the most phenomenal fights we could have possibly ever asked for because they're in a closer distance. So we're getting all these fights, and actually Ariel Helwani, like from the ESPN MMA Insider show, Ariel Helwani's show, he was with DC, and DC during his show had brought up that he was going to be fighting August, I believe it was August 11th or August 15th. He's fighting against Stipe, and Ariel had asked him, do you verbatim, obviously, Ariel had asked him, do you think that these fights in the UFC Apex cage are any less or any more I guess I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying there. Do you think these fights are any less or any more
intense
value?
No,
not intense. Like, do you think these fights are worth as much if you're gonna win
if you're
gonna win a championship?
Because you're not in front of a crowd.
Right? If you're gonna win a championship in a cage that's not the full size UFC cage,
what's the matter? You still beat the guy,
and that's what DC was saying.
You still beat the guy though.
Yeah, DC would
knockout, submission, TKO, whatever you still, or decision.
The thing that people say is it favors those fighters who like to fight in obviously a close distance because it's a smaller cage.
Which probably would be what, wrestlers, Brazilian, someone who can track someone down and take him down easy. Not necessarily probably a stand-up boxer or a striker. They want to move around, you know. Probably not want to get caught.
But like. So I guess, like, yeah, my biggest thing would be, like, he had brought that up to DC, and DC right away was like, come on. Like, if I win a championship in any cage, I'm going to win a championship in any cage. But that's what he asked him, and it gets you thinking because it obviously favors certain types of fighters. But, like, if you're going to sign the dotted line...
Mm-hmm. Put your belt on the line.
You know where you're going beforehand, and I think it... it makes sense either way. Like they if they sign it, they're there to fight. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Yep.
It is what it is. But
you fight, you lose your belt. Hey.
But back to that though, like besides DC, like that has made absolute phenomenal fights in the in Vegas in the last couple months, like since they left Florida, and those cards have been something else. But on that though, we did have like a couple other like of the prelims for I guess Mike Perry, for example. I brought that up.
yeah.
Mike Perry.
We were here earlier.
Mike Perry's successful debut, 1-0 with his girlfriend in the corner, and that was probably one of my favorite. One of my favorite moments in UFC where I look in his corner. I was waiting. Oh man, I was waiting so long for that first corner interaction, if it even got out of the first round, because it was obviously, I was telling a few people, I already told you that Mickey Gall was going to just clock clean. I thought it was within one round, but
he beat CM Punk, right?
Yeah, he beat CM Punk. So.
Hey, and don't get me wrong, folks. CM Punk, he's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, we know that.
Fact of the matter is,
but
he beat up the almighty CM Punk in CM Punk's first match.
Well, anyway, back to that though. Like Mike Perry, like I assume Mike Perry would like take him out within one round, completely. And then it got to that second round, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! I was like, let's see what his corner has to fucking say to him. And then we get in, and they cut to a fucking commercial break. They cut to a commercial break bro. Like during the first.
They don't want you to hear what they said.
But we eventually we got through that, and then it ended up going the distance. So they got into the second round, and the second round they brought it to the corner, and that was my favorite part about the whole fight, was you hear she's putting the ice pack on his back. She's like, and then she gets to his neck, and she's like, do you need more ice, babe? I was like, that is a quote of the year. For like,
what kind of were they filming a movie that night?
Yeah,
that's such a it sounds so scripted, you know. But
he had like a swelling and cut man, who was like looking around.
The Southpaw movie.
Yeah, he was looking around in his face. He was doing that from the front, but then his only coach was in the back, like, do you need more ice, babe? And she's so I'm sitting there losing it, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome, and then like he continues the fight, whatever, and gave the most iconic advice from the corner while he was fighting. I think he was on top of him at the time. He was sitting there laying a couple punches, whatever, and you just hear from the corner, because you can't hear anything obviously where they are. You just hear from the corner like, hit him more or something, or keep hitting him, babe. Hit him! I was like, and that's what another thing, because I do watch like DC and Air Helwani a whole bunch, and another thing they said was like, everybody at home is sitting there going, or all the other fighters at home are sitting there going with their girlfriends like, oh, like, I don't know what he's doing, and the girlfriends are going like, why don't you have me in your corner? It's true. You know it's true.
Yeah, but it's damn true. Damn true.
But anyways, so there was that. But then the craziest part about like Mike Perry is he's like, finishes that fight. Mike is on some shit, man. Like Mike is in his own world right now, man. Like the guy gets caught like on camera at a bar. And this is what I think I might have briefly told you earlier, but I didn't completely tell you. But
where? A bar where?
I don't know where it was.
Canada? States?
No, it was not Canada, but it was...
States?
I'm assuming. I don't know the exact location,
yeah.
but no, I don't know the exact
no big
location.
Deal.
But
I was wondering.
Yeah, so he... ooh, that's That's crisp, bud. That's crisp.
King of beers, Budweiser.
So yeah, no. Like, so he ends up getting.
Did you hear it crack like that too?
I did. No, I can hear every bit of that crisp Budweiser opening right now. Anyways, but so I guess the camera does do that, eh?
Yeah.
It like. I don't know. I thought when something was recording, it would not, but whatever.
What? Okay, that's cool.
Anyway, so yeah, so Mike Perry's like in, he's in the bar, and it's a very brief clip. You don't see what happens beforehand.
Okay.
Like a lot of people said, oh, Mike was potentially like causing ruckus with whoever was like.
Causing
in there before,
disturbance
because what you see from the video is he walks up and he's at the end of the bar, just like on the outskirts of it, getting kicked out, and he looks back and he says,
"Why is he getting kicked out?"
Okay, that's what I just said. I don't know, because he's
there's
no video beforehand, but hopefully,
has he ever said?
Hopefully something surfaces. No, because it just happened. So it was like, like, so.
Sorry, folks.
So he goes, he's walking out of the bar and he's screaming back at the people, and the girls, which like it's like, you're dealing with a guy who's like a little loopy. He's drunk. He has this fucking fighter mentality. Walk him out normally and just be like, hey, like, we don't like the way you're acting.
Yep.
We think that, like, you leave, it'd be better for everyone else. You could come back, maybe, if they wanted that. Like, you could come back. Like, just tell them something. Calm them the fuck down. But instead, like, they got these girls handling the situation. There was no security in the bar, I guess. Because they got these girls handling the situation who know nothing about what they're doing. They're like bartenders or whoever. Like, I don't know. Like, one I think was his girlfriend, but the one who was actually pushing him out, I don't know. Anyway, so they're pushing him out, and they're like, dude, what are you even doing? Like, get out, blah, 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 blah. And it's like this is just pissing him off even more. Oh, and he's getting pushed out. Imagine. And Mike is looking over at this guy, going, "You touched me. He touched me." And he's like, it's like, okay. Well, like, all right, bro, like, relax. Yeah. But he's like, yeah, this guy touched me. Well, in the bar, you don't remember touching me? That's what he said. And he goes, so it's like, okay. We get it. Like, you're pissed off, you're drunk. But then this old guy comes in. I don't know if he's like this hero in the bar. He's there every day, eating lunch, drinking beers, and then he goes for the night. But this old guy just feels like he has this need to, like, defend his bar and defend the people in the bar. And he's sitting there and he's like, Mike says something about, like, I want to wait around until the cops get here. And, like, obviously, like I said before, Mike was not in a great state. Like, obviously, they wanted him gone. He wanted to stay there. It's a conflict.
Yeah.
But it's like, then this old guy starts jumping in. And he's like, oh, like, he starts mocking Mike. He's like, oh, you want to call the police or whatever? And Mike goes like, yeah, I want to call the police or whatever. And he's like, yeah. And then he gets pissed off because he clearly sees the guy mocking him. And he's like, I'll knock your old ass out. And the guy, like, steps forward. He's like, oh, what are you going to do or something? He's like, yeah, bring your fat ass, whatever. Calls him a fat ass. And then he goes,
some of us have been gotten into confrontations.
No, but then before. the guy pushed him. The guy steps in. I don't, like, that's where I say, I don't know if this guy was some, like, defending his own little bar, whatever he was doing, but, like, clearly there's a dozen people around. Somebody knows that Mike Perry is a UFC fighter.
He didn't work there, or, like,
own it or
nothing like that?
Okay, I can't speak on that, but you can clear, like, I think it's very clear from the video that
this is a patron.
I think it's very clear that he's a patron. Yes,
patron. Okay, one of them proud guys.
But he walks in right after Mike calls him a fat ass. Maybe that hit a nerve. He walks in and he puts his two hands on him like this, and buddy, like, Mike walks over and goes, claps him.
Just
You
like
see,
that.
the video starts shaking, but you see him, I think he fell, and then you start hearing the whole room go, "Oh my God, what are you doing?
People,
what are you doing?"
dramatic ass.
Like this and that, but he clapped him, bro. Like,
self-defense.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me.
Well, really, okay. I don't know.
Fuck with me,
that's where like the
mind your own business.
Yeah.
It never would have happened, man. Just because you come here and you're regular every day doesn't mean you gotta act like Captain America.
But what I do want to get clear is, like, I'm not like picking fucking sides. Right?
No, absolutely not.
I'm like,
just saying,
because obviously, like I said originally, I don't know. Like, there was a guy who they said, "Oh, he touched me," like, and then you kind of hear mumbling, and it was something about like Mike doing something before, so you don't know how he was acting before he got in there.
So what if is touching bumping into him?
Well, like, I don't know. So what I'm saying is I'm not picking sides, but what I seen I seen from the video is Mike saying he wants to stay there because the cops are coming, and he might want his story across because, oh, I'm a UFC fighter and I don't want like this and that.
It sounds innocent to me.
No, it doesn't sound innocent at all by any fucking means, bro. Like, it does not sound innocent
to me.
But no, I'm
just kidding.
I think it sounds like he should have been gone. Like I said, there's two sides to it. Like, he should have been gone, but he wanted to stay there, so he could talk to the cops himself because, oh, I'm a UFC fighter and everybody's gonna say that I did this and that and I'm gonna get charged and I'm gonna do this.
You're in the spotlight. You're in the spotlight.
But in the same fucking thing, like, you're gonna stay there and then you knock out a fucking old guy and you're definitely getting charged. So, like, what's going on?
You kind of dug that for yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No.
There's no getting away from this.
Okay. Anyways,
unbelievable.
Mike Perry, very interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Great win. Moving on to bigger and better things.
Alrighty.
But hopefully, like, your cornerman gets to stay around to go 2-0. Because that did not look good. But moving on, to happier topic. Maurice Greene, man. Like, Maurice Greene on that UFC Fight Night card. I don't know if you watched the prelims on that, but he great fight between the two of them. Maurice ended up getting knocked down. He got clipped. We were like, okay, so I bet this is the thing. The two next guys I'm about to talk about, I bet against them on this card. I bet against Maurice Greene. And Maurice Greene got clipped flat down. Whatever.
First round?
First round. I don't even remember what round it was. No, but he got clipped. Just
went down.
Let me look that up. But no, I don't. I think it was the second or the third round.
Okay.
Maurice Greene went down. But right after that, it was the third round actually. Okay, yeah, it was second or third round. So it was the third round. But Maurice Greene went down. He got clipped, and he ended up scrambling a little bit, and fucking Vellante, who was fighting, he ended up getting on top of Maurice Greene, and Maurice ended up throwing him in this like arm triangle from the bottom, like, and submitted him from that position. It was one of the most awkward, unusual positions I think I've ever seen watching fighting, and it was so amazing to watch. But what was more amazing to watch was Maurice Greene's post-interview. It was like, this guy was so much raw emotion. He looked into the camera, and he was just basically spewing his whole life to us. He was telling us, he was like, I needed this win so I could pay for my family, I could do this, I could do that. He was in tears, man. Like, this was Maurice Greene. This was so phenomenal to watch, like, so amazing. I was not angry that I lost a bet with Maurice Greene when I watched that.
You were happy to see it. It reminds me of a fight I saw. It's an undercard on one of the DVDs. You know, I have those old school, like, UFC 50 whatever blah blah at home. And it was a guy, I forget his name, but he won this fight and he was on the undercard, and he just broke down, got on his knees. He had painted nails and everything. It was, he was a different type of guy. And he just started bawling. And then his corner man came out, hugged him, because it was his first win. And he walks up and he said, I want Joe. He got talking to Joe Rogan, and he said, what I want to do at the end of this fight, what I told my mom, I want to talk to Joe Rogan. Then he knew he won.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'll have to find out which fight that is and
sure.
What that is.
I got a question real quick. Like, we're gonna break. Do you want to see video?
No, it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter. Like, the reason I put it there was just
sure we'll
good
do it. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, like that down in like the rest of the prelims that were like kind of awesome in my opinion. This guy, man.
Here we go.
This guy.
Here we go. Now the trash talking.
No. There's no
trash talk. No trash talk. No
man.
trash talk. No trash talk. I guess.
Comma worthy, man.
Not yet, anyways.
Comma worthy, man. This guy, I will never in my life bet against ever again. That's why I said there's two of them. Maurice Greene. That was a great fight, but comma worthy, I will never bet against in my life. This guy went in. He had an impressive entrance immediately against Devontae Smith, where our buddy Matt Bradshaw.
Oh, Bradshaw.
Sorry, I got a burp.
Bradshaw.
Yeah, Matt Bradshaw. So he was over.
A fellow Detroit Tigers fan like myself. Right on.
Yeah. So
go Detroit. Anyways.
So Matt was over. And Matt, I think it was like 7-1 or something like that. Like, comma worthy in his UFC debut was fighting Devontae Smith. So much hype behind him. He ended up going in, and it was from the hop, it was Devontae Smith, I think, was getting a little bit of the other hand of him. Like, it was whatever, but then, like, comma worthy ended up just clipping him. Knocked him out, knocked him down, stopped that fight. And after that, people were like, okay, like, that was kind of a fluke. It was like, okay, Devontae Smith is a great fighter. Comma worthy is a pretty good fighter, but, like, it was kind of a fluke. Like, he clipped him, like, and it was a close fight. It was like, it is what it is. But then he fights again on one of the cards that happened within the last month. And comma worthy goes out there, he's fighting, he's winning the first round. I'm sitting there going like, holy fuck, man, like, come on. I'm like, this guy again? But then he was fighting Luis Pena. And Pena in the second round just absolutely outworks him. He's sitting there on top, like, his grappling was on another level.
I was just going to ask you, striking or grappling?
I
guess a little bit of both, eh? Get him down and beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, pretty
much.
Right?
Like, that'd be the game plan in MMA, wouldn't it?
For what, sorry?
For winning. Get someone down and beat the hell out of him.
Well, I mean, that's how Khabib does it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
he's
then...
champion, so...
But then, like, so they're going into round 3, 1-1. I'm sitting there like, okay, like, that made me feel pretty fucking comfortable that Luis Pena was able to just absolutely manhandle him on the ground in round 2. They go in there round 3, and for some reason, Luis Pena is not trying to take him down. They're doing a stand-up fight, and it's like, it's fairly close. It's closer than the first round when he got outstruck. It's closer than the second round when Pena obviously manhandled Worthy on the ground. Then they get into the third round, and they're sitting there pretty even, and you're like, okay, this is getting close to a decision. Sorry, I was saying Pena, but Pena fucking decides to go in for a takedown, gets him down, holds him there for a bit. They're scrambling a little bit. Worthy, out of absolutely nowhere, submits him. And I'm sitting there like, wanting to throw my phone away. I'm like, this fucking guy lost me
This just happened right now.
Lost me 2 parlays within the last year.
I would have threw my fucking phone.
And that's at the point I was telling you, I will never, ever, ever bet against Worthy again. That guy is the real deal. That guy has submission game, knockout power. He looks pretty great in all-around decisions.
He's the ace of spades, motherfucker.
Ace
of spades.
Yeah, he is something else.
Bet for him to win, not against him next time.
Anyways, though, so back to...
all right.
Yeah, back to... off of UFC Fight Night cards that happened before. We want to get straight into UFC 251.
Oh, the big weekend.
The big weekend.
Big weekend.
Probably one of the biggest weekends, I think, that I've been looking forward to ever. And me and my son will be watching the fights and enjoying ourselves.
And when you look at his new tattoo, his son is tattooed right on it.
He doesn't quite know his name yet. So he goes... He'll
baby
try,
steps.
He will, like, point at the letters and he'll say something else. That's not the letters, but he's doing a good job. And me and my grandma think he said the other day I was like dot 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 dot. I was like sage, and he goes Sage.
He's a learning boy.
So he's great.
Awesome. Anyways,
okay,
yes.
so UFC 251.
Big weekend.
I love the whole card, but just for time's sake, we're gonna go over the main card itself. It's opening up Fight Island, man. What do you think about Fight Island?
Fight Island is very unique to me because
it's on an island.
Well, yeah, on an island, and it kind of resembles to what the WWE has been doing since the COVID breakout has started.
Okay.
What the WWE has done, they have not stopped recording shows. They have kept recording shows, but what they have done was remove fans from the stands and kept it in Florida, the WWE Performance Center in Orlando.
Okay.
So to me, when UFC did this, it made me remind myself of the Performance Center. But that's what gets interesting is when are fans going to be let into the Fighting Island? Is that even talked about yet? Because they're talking about it in... They've let trainers, WWE trainees, wrestlers with masks on to go in to watch shows.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, 18 people test positive for COVID-19 at the WWE Performance Center.
But
what the fuck is that?
That's what I mean, though. It's like there's a big difference between
it's got to be a big difference.
No, there's a huge difference.
Florida is one of the biggest states of it's
Florida's Florida.
Florida is weird. Yeah.
Florida is Florida. But there's a big difference between having a coach test positive and being like, oh, let's see what we do with this situation, and then having 18,000 people test positive while you're in an arena with what?
Well, it wasn't 18,000. It was 18 people, but these are like.
No, okay, it's an exaggeration, but I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I get it.
You get an arena together. It's like no, keep fans out, man. Keep fans out right now.
Yep. That's why I think one of the safest sports to probably do during COVID times is NASCAR. You're alone in your fucking car.
But
you're driving around.
But okay, Jerry. You sound like Jerry Springer right now. You're driving around.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Sorry, folks. That's usually not me. But I was getting into the NASCAR feel. You're driving around, all right? Daytona 500.
But keep fans away from it still.
Exactly. Yeah, that's just it.
Yeah.
Keep people away from it.
Yeah.
And we'll all be okay.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching sports with no fans and no sports at all.
Anyways,
let's be blessed with what we got.
Let's get back to the UFC. UFC 251.
Alrighty.
So like I said, we're back to in Fight Island. We're back to the 30-foot diameter cage, full size cage.
Oh. Regulation.
So it's going to be a great card. My main card picks. I don't know if you looked into them too much, but my main card picks. I've got Kamaru Usman, Alexander Volkanovski, Peter Yan, Rose Namajunas, and then Ribas. Beating PVZ. I've got an honorable mention to Ozdemir against I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Prajavka. He's coming from I think it's 1. He's coming from 1, and he has knocked out everybody left and right, like in 1, but they have him as an underdog, and I think it's because, well, not like completely, but I think it has to do with like Ben Askren obviously coming to the UFC and like getting a little shut out there, but I think that's going to be a really good fight. But I do, I think that is a potential. Like, I know there's a lot of great fights on the main card. I love Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. I love that so much. Rose is a great comeback fight and redemption, but I think she fighting against Andrade, I think it might be a little bit of a shutout for Rose. But yeah, Ozdemir, that fight I think is a potential fight of the night candidate right there, depending on how that guy comes from 1. It was either 1 or Ryzen. He's coming from 1 organization. It was either 1 or Ryzen, but he is. What, K1? K1's
No,
not K1.
That's the kickboxing.
No,
right? I know it, right?
But it was either, it was one of those, but either way, honorable mention. I think that is a potential fight in that candidate right there.
So I love fights that fight. You just mentioned, an upset, what fight do you think?
An upset? Okay.
During the fights you just mentioned
far. Let me go over.
Go over this and see who would upset who if it were to happen.
Okay,
if it's against your own.
I'm gonna answer that after.
Okay.
After this. Okay.
All right.
So what I'm looking at right here is I've got Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. And like I said earlier, I'm going to start it off. Like, I think Kamaru Usman, when he almost got submitted a couple times by RDA, Rafael dos Anjos, I looked into that fight where he was fighting Tyron Woodley, and that's another thing. Me and Matt were there together as well, and Matt fucking lost a bet off that. And
Bradshaw?
Yeah. He lost a bet off of that. And I remember thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, this Usman guy, he almost got tapped out. He's not going to touch like Tyron Woodley, man. Like, and he mopped the floor with him. It was such a boring fight, like, because it was mostly like Tyron not having the energy or the, I don't want to go overboard with what I say here, but not having the love for the sport potentially.
The interest,
the interest in the sport, whatever.
Interest in like not loving what you're doing. Remember what Tyson said? I don't love what I do anymore when he quit, like when he retired.
And I think that's like that is potentially true because
he's just out there for a paycheck.
When you seen him fight Gilbert Burns the other weekend, it was the same deal. Like, he got outworked by Gilbert Burns, and Gilbert Burns has had an amazing run once he moved up in weight, but he was not that tier of fighter.
Yeah.
When he was in the lower weight class. So when he came up and he did that Tyron Woodley, nobody expected that, and Tyron looked like he didn't want to be there. Like, he looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked like he didn't want to be there when he was fighting Usman. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore, and it is what it's like. So
you've lost interest in the sport by that point.
Potentially.
Obviously.
Potentially.
Obviously.
But it's not obvious because you don't want to take...
Or maybe you weren't interested in this fight.
You don't want...
Maybe that's it.
You don't want to take anything away from Kamaru Usman.
I don't like to take anything away from any fighters. They train hard, you know what I mean, except for Charlie Z. But we're going to get on
save
that later.
But no,
we're... we got that coming up.
There we go. No, but...
Sorry, guys.
So you no, but you don't want to take anything away from like a guy like Kamaru Usman. You don't want to take anything away from a guy like Gilbert Burns.
Not. Absolutely
those are
not. Phenomenal
fighters.
Absolutely.
But it's just for Tyron Woodley to look like that. He looked, oh my god, man. Tyron Woodley versus Robbie Lawler. Man, that was something, man.
Fuck, how old is Robbie Lawler now, man?
He's got to be up there, but
50.
Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna get through this page. Yeah, no, he's not 50. Come on,
no, I'm just kidding. He's up there.
That bald head is getting to you, but yeah. Yeah, no. So basically, what I wanted to say though about like Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, it was kind of like I personally, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, I think that the Jorge Masvidal fight was an awesome replacement. Like, that looks so beautiful to see those two faces beside each other on the card. But I think Gilbert Burns would have been a better fight. He did what only a couple people have done to Tyron Woodley. Like all recovery to like Gilbert Burns, like it's terrible news, especially how excited he was. He came up like he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this quick turnaround for a title shot. He deserved it. It was against his teammate Kamaru Usman, but I just think that it's like to see a replacement like Jorge Masvidal was fucking beautiful, but it's not like more exciting of a fight itself. I think it's just more exciting of the hype behind it because of what people relate with Jorge Masvidal on what he's done in the sport. But me personally, and this is not a diss because I love Jorge Masvidal, I just am not I am not
a diss yet anyway.
I'm not as impressed with Jorge Masvidal.
It is called Trash Talk with Devin, so just saying.
And apparently like I'm already backtracking on the name, so all right, but but no
go on, sorry.
Don't kill me, Jorge, please. It's all good, man. But yeah, so like I don't know, it's just I'm not as impressed with the run. Like I said, like Jorge, like, he has phenomenal one-punch power. He looks incredible in all of his fights. But, like, his last 5 fights is when people really started picking up on Jorge. They're like, wow, look at this guy. But he lost a split decision to Damian Maia. He lost a unanimous decision to Stephen Thompson. And then he fought against Darren Till. Darren Till was winning that fight. And then Jorge ended up knocking him out. With that one-punch power I was talking about, he ended up knocking him out. And you look at that fight and you're like, okay, Jorge could have potentially been 0-3 in his last fights at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he goes off to fight next. He goes off to fight Ben Askren. And you watch that fight. He walks in, gangster as fuck, puts his hands behind his back, smiles, sprints up to him, knocks him out cold. But I seen a picture the other day. Ben Askren was doing this when he was knocked out. His hands settled like this.
What, laying on the ground? He was holding the thumb up?
He was going, no, his hands settled like this. I think it was just the way that he twitched. Or something.
Oh, like, or something. Then
so he's going like this, and then the ref's going, and somebody posted a photo. I think it was one of those like stupid.
Oh my God, he's having a stroke.
No, I think it was one of those stupid MMA pages. But he goes like,
or seizure. Sorry.
He goes, look at Ben Askren's hand. Early stoppage. He goes, Ben Askren had a thumbs up. He was not like, well, whatever. And I'm like,
he's just putting a thumbs up to let everyone know he's still alive. Or awake. You know what I mean?
But yeah, he goes.
That's the only reason why that happened.
But yeah, so anyway, so like Ben Askren at that point, like he had knocked out, or Jorge Masvidal. He had knocked out Ben Askren. He knocked out Darren Till, but he was like very, very like close to like losing that fight. And then he knocked out Ben Askren, which was 3 seconds. He knocked out Ben Askren, which was 3 seconds, but the official count, because the ref couldn't get in, was 5 seconds. He knocked him out in 3 seconds.
Okay.
On
3-5.
On that topic, did you see what Ben was writing to a Twitter troll the other day?
I missed that one.
Okay, so he goes...
I don't have a Twitter account.
I don't know the exact quote.
I don't have a Twitter account.
Yeah, I don't know the exact quote, but he goes, like, the guy writes something about, how long did it take you to figure out that you messed up or something? And Ben Askren replies...
When I got knocked out in 5 seconds.
Yeah, so he goes...
That's what I would have said.
Well, that's what he said. He goes, how long did it take you to whatever? And he goes, 5 seconds. I commented on it. Of course, me being the asshole I am, I commented on it. I was like 3 seconds, but you're being modest.
Just give me the extra 2 seconds.
Anyways, okay,
man.
so but then he gets to Jorge Masvidal gets to the Diaz fight. That was so fucking incredible. Like
Nate Diaz.
Yeah, he fought against Nate Diaz, and he
where the fuck's Nick Diaz at?
Probably like mumbling somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, so Nate Diaz is the only active.
I thought Nick wanted to come back, but I don't know what fight he was coming back for.
Is Nate Diaz the only active Diaz brother right now in MMA then? Or is Nate Diaz even active?
Nate Diaz is barely active.
Okay, so sometimes.
And Nick Diaz is kind of, I don't know, it sounded like he wanted to come back, but it doesn't.
All right.
It has not
but anyway.
come to the tables, but...
Anyway.
Anyways, though, so like I was saying, like Jorge Masvidal, he fought against fuck, you're confusing me. Nate Diaz, sorry.
Yeah.
So he fought against Nate Diaz, and he ended up just like shutting him out completely. Like he took him apart like the first 3 rounds. It was clearly a one-sided fight, but then the ref stopped the fight at the end of the 3rd round, and it was stopped because of like in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It should have went on.
But he had him against the cate? I didn't see
No, like Nate Diaz was on a stool. They stopped the fight.
Oh.
It should have went on like the next 2 rounds, and that's what gets me about that fight too. It's like okay, no, Jorge Masvidal, all the credit to him.
Doctor stoppage or
Hey, all the credit to Jorge Masvidal. He was clearly winning that fight.
Well, he won.
But Nate Diaz shines in those championship rounds, and like the 4th and 5th rounds he shines completely. And
so was it a doctor stoppage, or was it a referee, or was it Diaz's corner saying? I didn't see the fight, so
it would have been under 1 sec. So it would have been Nate Diaz.
You said he was on his stool. I wonder who, or maybe he said no.
So it would have been under Doctor stoppage. Oh no, I do remember that actually. Now that I read it, I think it was because of a cut.
Okay.
Yeah, no, 100% it was because of a cut. Because,
over the eye.
I'm pretty sure it was over the eye.
It's always over the eye.
So he ended up like whatever doctor stoppage.
Goes in your vision.
You know what, like, okay, no, but besides that, yeah, no, it was over the eye. It was fucking bleeding down, whatever.
Can't see.
But no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Under the eye is different, okay? But
under the eye, it's not blocking your, like. Come on.
If you I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was over the eyebrow, but I don't know for sure.
It probably was. That's
but
probably why they stopped.
Over the eyebrow.
Why they stopped.
Yeah, but over the eyebrow, come on, like. He so basically it was dripping down, and they stopped the fight. But like, knowing Nate Diaz, man, that is a guy who fights through that shit. Like, you gotta know when you're a doctor, you're a referee, you gotta know your fighter. Like, you do not stop a fight that's like Nate Diaz is in, that he can see out of his eye. I know you're protecting them, I understand, but you do not stop a fight that Nate Diaz is in when he's got a little blood and a cut. Like, come on. Like, I don't agree with that stoppage at all. One of the stoppages, we got into that talk about you saying, like, oh, under the eye, over the eye. Stoppage I agree with was actually a guy you potentially sparred with, I sparred with, and is an amazing doctor, Dr. Faisal. Did you spar him?
Oh, I got a lot of sparring rounds with him, and I'm going to give him some props because me and him were going at it. Well, before I get to this story, I'll keep it short, right? I saw him, this guy already had a broken nose.
Faisal did?
Yeah, and he was wearing one of those head guards where it protects like
I wore that once.
It has like a beak on it to protect your nose.
A beak? What do you mean a beak?
Well, no, like it like has those like guards on there. Well, he was out there wearing one of those. This is one story separate from the other one. I won't tell you when he took me out. I know it's going to be good.
He dropped you?
He dropped my ass. I'm going to tell you. I'm admitting it, man.
Okay.
So, I just remember Faisal being Rocky out there. Just fucking...
What do you mean, like Rocky Balboa?
Yeah, Rocky Balboa. Like, the bell went, and the guy he was sparring with dropped his gloves, and you could hear Kathy from Sharky's year. Yep. She goes, hey, that's only... you know how at Blue Water, bloop, bloop, yellow... means 30 seconds left. Yeah. Well, Faisal, the guy's like, okay, I'll put my hands back up, and Faisal's like this, come on, and then gets punched in the fucking face again. So I was like, holy fuck, the guy's a trooper. So one day, me and him are sparring, and yeah. He throws a body shot. I was doing good. Like, man, I always had the upper hand on him in a way.
Ooh. Are you gonna throw that on record here?
I just said it.
I guess so.
But I never knocked. I gave him a standing 8 count in sparring, which Kathy, his coach, gave to him. But he put me on the canvas, so I'm giving him that.
A standing 8 count in sparring. Why?
I don't know. Ask her. She was the one that was practicing reffing while me and him were sparring.
Okay.
Ask her that. I don't know. Maybe she was just...
Anyways, we're gonna get out of that, but it's no, all I wanted to say was you were talking about like cuts, swelling, whatever, like, and fucking like,
over the eye, they always want to stop him because it goes.
Yeah, so anyways, we were in Toronto, me and Nolan and like Paul and a Jake and like a bunch of other guys, but we were watching the fight with Holloway versus Brian Ortega, and that was so fucking like amazing to watch. The first 4 rounds, pop, 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 pop. Holloway just he did not stop coming forward, man. And Brian Ortega, heart of a lion, bro. And he, we get to the 5th round, sitting on the stool again. Eye out to here. Our one and only Dr. Faisal walks up and he stops that fight. He said no more. I was sitting there drunk in the stands going, come on. And then come on. But then we're sitting there and I was like, we want to see a 5th round. And no, I seen Brian's face. And then that's when we seen Faisal, and we're like, oh shit! Like,
I know that guy.
We're like, Faisal's up there, and like I seen Brian's face, I seen everything, and I was like, that was the right call. For a drunk fan, it is not the right call, but for anyone who cares about the health of the fighters, that was the right call. Yeah, 100%.
For the fighters' family and friends, and anyone that cares and gives a shit about human life.
You know Brian Ortega.
Unlike some people here that want to see a 5th round.
You know Brian Ortega. Yeah, and Brian Ortega is an absolute warrior, and like you said, like people say, you gotta be stopped sometimes from your own warrior mentality.
You got it.
It's just what it is.
Rumble and the Thrill in Manila with Frazier and Ali. They had to stop Frazier. Yeah, stop it. Like,
okay. Anyways,
all right, moving on.
Back to everything. Like, so like that's what I think about Jorge. Like Jorge, I think he's a great fighter. I just do not think he's on the same tier as Kamaru Usman. I don't think he's on.
Do you think he could be soon, and maybe in 2 or 1 year?
No. Jorge, are you kidding? Jorge Masvidal.
I'm just asking.
Jorge Masvidal's been on like. Okay, actually, this is it. So Jorge Masvidal he is the fighter with the most UFC fights before a title shot.
Okay.
Ever. Okay. This is
the most UFC fights before a title shot.
A title shot.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I don't think so. I think this is it.
It's not going to happen.
I think he I'm so happy for Jorge Masvidal. He stuck his neck out. He said, "I'm not taking this fight for."
He's got hurt.
I'm not taking this fight for less money than I took for the fake. I say that calmly because I know people love that belt, but the fake BMF belt, the baddest motherfucker around. He said, "I'm not taking less money. I fought Nate Diaz for the BMF belt. I'm not taking less money for a fight against Kamaru Usman for the real title." I agree. Completely. I understand, but I agree. He sat there, didn't take the fight, whatever. He now says, once that Gilbert Burns fight fell through, Gilbert Burns got COVID-19, I'm going to take that fight now, but I'm only going to take it if they come to my end. I personally thought that Coby Covington was going to get that fight for a second time because I thought that Coby Covington was going to take...
Isn't that your boy?
Was gonna take less. I thought Coby Covington was gonna take less money than he would, and I thought they would make that fight like that, but they ended up making the Jorge fight happen. And Jorge said, good for him. Jorge said he ended up getting close to the amount of money that he asked for. Not exactly, but he got close. So good for him. He stuck his put his chips out, and he got what he fucking wanted, man.
Yeah. Going out and go get it. Go get what you want.
That's as we used to say, get that cheese, baby.
get that cheese. Yeah. I remember that from the boxing club.
Yeah.
Go get that cheese.
Anyways, all
Moving
I'm saying,
on.
Jorge, great on him. He got everything he wanted. I don't think he's going to stay there, and I do think Usman is going to walk through him with a very clear decision, but I do think Jorge is going to have enough grit, enough willpower to stay in. Speaking of willpower, he had enough willpower to take one bite of a single pizza. He had this pizza on his plane.
What are you talking about, Pete?
He said when in, I think it was when in Rome, he said.
When in Rome.
He
sounds like a movie.
I think it might have been that, but I can't remember. I can't remember where he stopped, but he said he took a single bite of pizza, and he gave the rest to his teammates. Me, my buddy, and former guy I fought, Rodolfo. I tagged him in that. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, there is no way that I would ever take a single bite of a fucking pizza. If I took one bite, that whole box is gone within 10 minutes. Like, especially when I was cutting weight. Imagine me. Could you imagine? So I'm about 155 pounds, 160 pounds right now. Can you imagine me cutting down to 125 like I do, and sitting on a plane 7 days before and going on one bite of fucking pizza? No. I'd be like, fighting people off. Like, you think you're gonna touch this pizza? Like, come on.
Nah, man. It's the Hunger Games when you're cutting weight, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's the Hunger Games.
All right. Anyways, moving on though.
Alrighty. What we got?
My quick notes are I've got Volkanovski beating Max Holloway slightly a bit more than last time.
Oh.
Max, the cool thing about Max, I
was going to say
that just surfaced was Max was training over Zoom. You all right?
Yep.
Max was training over Zoom. You know Zoom?
No.
Really?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's a new video app. It's like Skype, kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's where they're doing all those funny prank videos.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Max was training over Zoom with his coaches the whole camp, and his betting odds actually went down since he made that video telling people that.
Because people looked how shitty it fucking was.
It's like well, he's like, oh yeah, I go and I perform this Zoom whatever with my coaches, and I don't have sparring, I don't have training partners, I don't have anything. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people, even myself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting there, I'm going, okay, well, you're that's okay when you're Max Holloway fighting against someone whatever. But when you're fighting against Alexander Volkanovski, man, who already just beat you in your last fight when you had a full training camp, it's a little skeptical, but
it's a little different.
It's hard to look at, man. It's but like I said, I think Volkanovski beats Max just a little bit more than last time, but I do see it going the distance still. And then after that, Max has been calling out Daniel Cormier.
Oh, DC.
60-pound difference.
DC.
He's been... You know what he called?
You think it'll happen?
Come on. I'm joking. But no, he called...
Think it'll happen?
Come on. They had said on their podcast the other night that Max was getting a little down in weight, possibly, and was getting a little irritated. And he called DC Fat Boy.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, yeah, you want to fight Fat Boy or something? Something along those lines.
That just it just reminds me of Kimbo Slice and Data 5000. Yeah, I bet you my balls are bigger than yours. Pull yours out. Pull yours out. Pull yours out. And you can see Ken Shamrock sitting there just fucking howling his ass off, saying, this is great. This is great, he's thinking.
Oh my god. That idiots. Like we're gonna get to Kimbo by the end, but oh man.
Rest in peace, Kimbo.
Actually, no. Like let's get to it now. Fuck it. So like Kimbo Slice, I want to get
talking Kimbo.
Yeah, one of a random shit. Like I watched UFC Fight Pass had this new thing about Kimbo's life. Mm-hmm. It was so amazing, man.
I watched a documentary on YouTube recently about it too. It was.
Now what download UFC Fight Pass, or if you can find it wherever. Like. Do that, but no, like watching Kimbo Slice, he was just such an amazing person, man. He's just an amazing person, amazing fighter. He was never like a top 10, top 15 guy, but it was like just what he did for the fight game was just incredible, man. It was
from what I've heard from people, his wife, friends, he was a loving, caring guy,
and that's what you see.
He looked very intimidating, gold teeth, big. Yeah. Big guy, looks like me, but he actually gave a shit about everybody. Yeah. He was a very caring guy, and
that's what I mean.
Died too young, unfortunately.
When you look on his
Street Fighter,
the Ultimate Fighter. I don't want to get too much into this shit until the end. When you look at his Ultimate Fighter stuff, when he first came out of the episode, like all these guys are looking at him like he's fresh meat of meat. Oh, here comes Kimbo Slice. They're like, oh, we know this fucking asshole.
He's the legend.
And he walks in and he smiles at everyone.
Yeah.
And he becomes best friends with everybody in the house.
Yeah.
Like, Kimbo Slice is amazing, but the biggest reason why I wanted to bring up any of that right now is because Jorge Masvidal street fight in his backyard. That was so fun. He was a second man. Like, let's bring in this little guy. Fucking, like, let's watch him piece up some people, and he fucking did. And then look at him. He's fighting for a UFC title however long later.
Not long at all.
Yeah. But anyways, okay, so back to UFC 251.
Alright.
The fight I'm most excited for, Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. I thought
Aldo, let's go.
Yeah, I thought Aldo looked so phenomenal. When he cut down, everybody's like, oh, Aldo is not going to do that well. Look at him. He looks like a skeleton when he was cutting down to 135. I didn't have an opinion on it. I was just looking, like, hoping that he would do well because I fucking love Aldo so much. But yeah, he went in there. He fought the number one contender, who I personally think is still the most dangerous man in this division, Marlon Moraes. Most dangerous man besides Jose Aldo, because I personally think Jose Aldo won that fight. So he fought against him, and so Yan has come up. He's looked like unstoppable, pretty much. Like
on a roll.
He had a fight against. He lost a split decision. I think it was. Can't remember who that was to, but he lost a split decision a little while back. But I personally, so I have my bets. I have Peter Yan winning by decision. I think that he can do that. I seen the way that Jose Aldo fought. I see the way that Peter Yan fought. I see the way Peter Yan picked apart Uriah Faber. It was pretty good in the first round, but he picked him apart coming into the rest of the fight. But yeah, no, I definitely see Peter Yan winning by a decision. But you just cannot count it all though. Like Peter Yan has fought against his last 3 fights would have been against his third last fight would have been against Dodson, who is currently sitting at number 13. He fought Rivera, who is currently sitting at number 9. And then he fought against Faber, who at that time...
Uriah Faber.
When he pieced apart Uriah Faber like that, he was currently sitting at number 13 as well. So he has not really like fought anyone in the top 10 that I would say that is like matchable to like Jose Aldo fighting against Marlon Moraes and beating him, in my opinion and a lot of people's opinion. But like to do that, and then to Peter Yan to do what he does, like to those people, it's like it's a hard decision to make. I think it's gonna be like I know I said there was like Uzdemir could be fight of the night as well, but like I said as well, like Jose Aldo versus Peter Yan, I think that is a potential fight of the night candidate. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I'm like I am watching that fight. I think it's going to be something special. I truly do. I think Peter Yan, I'm not going to call Peter Yan this hype show because I don't believe that. I'm going to say that he has not fought as many people like as he is being hyped up to at this point.
Okay.
But
he's got a little hype going on.
He's got a lot of hype going on. The fact that he gets a title shot over Aljamain Sterling. Over Aljamain Sterling, and then he fights against Jose Aldo, which people are saying Jose Aldo didn't deserve the title shot. And okay, but Jose Aldo fought the number one contender, and I do think he beat him. So it's like Jose Aldo versus Peter Yan is a great fight, but then Aljamain Sterling deserves that next shot. And then Cody Garbrandt, who just knocked out Rafael, he's in the mix too. Cody Sandhagan, I was a little upset with the way he performed because I even thought Cody Sandhagan could possibly be something special too, but
not meant to be.
Well, you'll see. We'll see. Like Cody Sandhagan can come back, but
it's going to be a big night.
He got submitted very, very quick in a very. He's going for it. He's going for it. All right, Mike Tyson.
I was able to do some Tyson weed here. Sorry.
I'm going to show my grandma this podcast. You know
Please
that, right?
don't.
Please.
You edit out this.
Edit out this part? No, definitely
and then
not.
just have like...
Definitely not. You did that so gangster. But anyways, yeah, no, like
that must have been the most gangster part of my life then. My God.
So... All in all, that fight, I see Peter Yan winning by decision, and I'm falling into his hype. I love Peter Yan. I think he's an incredible fighter, but I just think Jose Aldo is such a dangerous, dangerous person, especially the way that he cut down and just absolutely took the division.
Aldo?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Jose took that division head to head. And I think this is going to be a fight of the night candidate between the two with Uzdemir as well. But
probably is.
Next up, though, we got down on that. We've got Rose. I personally have Rose by knockout in the second round. Like I said, when she was the best she ever looked when she fought against Andre the first time, she got slammed on her head. Do you remember that?
Yep.
She got slammed on her head. Went out. Rose has looked so great. In the past, she's looked so great against Andrade, and I think that's a very clear decision, a very clear decision that she's going to knock her out. Like I think like Rose is going to pick her apart. Like, and I won a lot of money off Zhang knocking out Andrade in the first round.
Yeah.
Because I knew what happened. They had it like 8-1 odds that Zhang was going to come in and pick her apart in the first round. So I ended up putting like $10 down on it. I won like $80 off of a first round knockout off one fight. I was like, come on.
That's sweet.
I want to see though Zhang versus Rose. Rose is fighting this. I don't know if Zhang has got anything set up right now, but I would like to see that fight next. After this for the title. That would be an awesome fight, man. I would love to see that. But, of course, like I said, Rose deserves this. Rose deserves to have this redemption.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great slam, but Rose is going to win this fight. Last up, we got Ribas versus PVZ.
PVZ.
Your girl?
Paige Van.
Yeah.
Everyone's girl.
No.
Well, if everyone knows what a beautiful girl looks like, look at Paige Van Zandt. Come on.
Yeah.
True. Come
no,
on.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm saying yep. But in all respect, in all fairness...
and she's a great fighter, by the way.
She is a very great fighter. In all fairness, though, I have a very, very clear decision for Paige losing.
Oh. You're going against?
I think this is Paige's last fight contract in the UFC.
Oh, you think she's done? She's
retired? No, I don't think she's done. I think after she takes on this fight in the UFC, I think that she's going to look at her own options outside of the UFC. I think that
like Ronda Rousey did,
like Bellator, maybe not WWE, but who knows?
Never know.
I think she's going to look at her options. I think she's got a bright career in Bellator potentially. I think she has a bright career anywhere.
Well, now why would you leave UFC to go to Bellator? Why?
Well, there's plenty of reasons.
Why?
Well, okay, like if you were gonna say
is the pay better in Bellator? Then why isn't anyone going?
Some of the pay I think is actually like
you're Paige Van Zandt. You're one of the most famous female MMA stars in the world.
Well, and that's what I mean. Why?
You could go anywhere. You could go to
that's
Japan. You go to Japan and get a job. So why leave?
Well, she has a life here. She has a husband. She has a wife.
Yeah, so
why is she gonna go to Japan?
I don't know. Why she leaves the UFC to go to Bellator?
Paige came out and said,
"Why go to Bellator when you're in the UFC?"
Do you know?
Doesn't make sense.
Listen to this, okay? Paige says in every single UFC fight she's ever had, including bonuses, she has made more money on one appearance in Dancing with the Stars than she has in her entire UFC career.
Paige, it's like that idiot Oscar De La Hoya. He did the same thing.
Paige with her platform, Paige with everything that she does not need the UFC. She fights in the UFC because she wants to fight.
Well, she's been Sports Illustrated, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
and she's probably made more money than she has
modeling
in the UFC.
And stuff.
She doesn't
like
need the UFC anymore.
Like bikini pics.
Paige has picked her own profile up enough that she does not need the UFC. So she's exploring her options.
Maybe she's done.
She's exploring her options.
Maybe she's done.
We can't say that, but
she could be.
She's exploring her options outside of the UFC.
Yep.
And if the UFC becomes the best option, then she'll take the best option. But Paige loves fighting. She loves everything else in her life. She loves her life in general, man. Paige and her husband are just so fucking happy. You can clearly see that. But Paige is just like she's got her own life, and if she's gonna make more money somewhere else, she's gonna be happier somewhere else, then explore your options.
Especially if it doesn't involve getting punched or kicked in the face.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So back to Jorge.
What do we? Oh, back to Jorge.
We know that Gilbert was replaced, but the reason he was replaced was because he tested positive for COVID-19.
Okay. We got a
positive test. Like I said, he got Jorge took this fight on 6 days' notice.
Oh Jesus!
A title fight. So
a week.
Yeah, less than a week. Jorge took this fight. He had the option to take it before, but like I said, he wanted more money, and he got close to it.
Well, yeah, I'm taking it on a week's notice. I would like a little more fucking cash if I'm...
Exactly, yeah. So...
stepping in.
So anyway, so he...
Fucking right.
With that said, like I told you, he was eating pizza. Just a bite.
just a bite.
Bro, just a bite.
Just a bite. Was it a pizza bite, or was it an actually pizza? Actual pizza?
Oh, like you mean one of those little bites?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an actual pizza.
Okay,
a bite of a real.
Okay, I'm just
a bite of a real made pizza.
Just clarifying. Okay, continue.
So he got a lot of criticism for that, just because he has 20 pounds to lose in the 6 days, and he's got.
Oh.
The crazy part for me is he's traveling to Abu Dhabi. They have to flip time zones. He's got to get down there. He's got to figure out his workout routine. He's got to figure out his sleep routine. He's got to figure out everything. And then he ends up going and losing 20 pounds as well. That's a lot, man.
Well,
for somebody who has cut weight, The most I've ever cut probably the night before was.
Where's he going? Abu Dhabi, you said?
Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Pretty warm there.
Fight Islands on Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty warm there. Like,
I get you might just lose it walking around.
Just water weight, man. No. Water weight, dude, or nerve weight.
No, but like, I think I don't know what he's gonna do because then he's got to get tested, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got to get tested. He's got to go. He's got to quarantine in his own room
for 14 days.
So he's likely, what I see happening is he's likely going to sit in some saltine waters and
lose weight.
There's some Epsom salt in the water. He's likely going to do that in his own hotel room because there's not much other way you can do it at that point. Like, you're going to do fucking jumping jacks for 3 hours and hope that you lost 20 pounds? No, you're probably going to go in like Epsom salt. That's what I see happening.
Yeah.
I see he's going to have a little bit of a workout routine going, but he's going to be working on so many schedules that all I can see happening is likely him trying to take off the water the night before, and we're going to see what effect that has on him.
And you know what? It doesn't end good in history for these fighters that do that.
Yeah.
Because they come out weak, they come out dehydrated, and they can't go the full rounds, or they end up getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's what happens.
Well, but then we get back to Jose Aldo. It worked for him. It worked for him, but I think Jose Aldo had an amazing cut because he's so disciplined.
Jose Aldo's a different guy.
He's a different man. Let's not take anything away from Jorge Masvidal.
And I'm not taking anything away from that guy. Yeah. Not from Jorge. I'm just saying. Then obviously Jose Aldo is a different guy. Just it takes a lot to, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that there's historically, you're right. TJ Dillashaw, example, went down, fought Henry Cejudo.
You dehydrate yourself, you lose that fight.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Completely. I do agree.
All sports.
I do agree, but I still would never count out Jorge Masvidal from a potential. Like I said before, I do think Usman is just out of his tier, but I will never count out Jorge Masvidal completely because he is a guy who is just so confident in his abilities, so confident in his whole persona, so confident in everything. That weight cut, I think he'll do it. I think he will do it. I think he'll come in Friday confident,
just looking down. Great. Munch down after you do your weight, you go eat something right away and start.
Yeah.
Because these boxers, even UFC, they official weigh in at this weight, and they go in fucking 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Molinari weighs in at fucking, what is it, sometimes 140. He comes in 155 come fight night, unofficial weight. The fuck is that?
There's a couple.
That's why people get hurt. Because people, they just, all right,
I know, and I agree. I think
I see why they want to do that as a fighter, because you want to eat after training and saying, okay, I made weight, I want to kick back, get a good meal into me, and let's fight tomorrow.
You still got to be careful with what you eat when you're going down in that weight. You got to be careful what you eat the day before, the day of. You just got to be careful because that stuff, like, it affects you. Your body's like, ooh, I love this.
Right.
Like
it adapts.
It's crazy when we were fighting back in these tournaments. We were fighting, like, I was fighting probably 3, 4, 5 times, like, in one tournament. You go back and you're like, oh, I deplete myself. I get down to this weight that I'm not supposed to be at, and then you go out and you'll eat like shitload of waffles or something, and then you the next day you fight that night. Because it's same day weigh-ins in Ontario or Canada or wherever we were, same day weigh-ins, and you'll get down in that weight, and next morning you'll eat all this, you'll do this, you'll have your fight at night, and then you'll wake up the next morning after doing shit you should have never done during your training camp, and you'll wake up even less weight. It's just because when you condition yourself enough that you are like strong enough to make that weight. You will maintain it. You'll maintain your weight off of proper weight cut. If you're like what's his name? Jeez, Jr. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Oh yeah.
You're that guy where you go out drinking and you do this and that.
Oh fuck.
You all right there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go out drinking the whole night. You're going to like he comes in 30 pounds heavier after weigh-ins the next day, and it's because he did not do it. Like I understand, like some people do like bounce up a little bit, but if you're gonna bounce up 30 pounds, you did not cut properly. Absolutely not.
Or not taking it serious enough.
Oh, he did not take it seriously. 100%.
Especially if you're getting pulled over for wasn't he pulled over for a DUI or something like that?
I don't remember.
Or was it just he lacked to show up to training? And I remember he has a
bit of both, probably.
Yeah. I think there was a. Don't quote me on it, folks. Don't quote this show, but I believe there could have been a DUI that alerted people to his problems. So don't quote.
Yeah. So a couple other fighters tested positive as well. One of them is you remember Pedro Munoz who knocked out Cody Garbrandt? Yep. I was there live for that. That was like one of the most disappointing.
Kicked his ass
right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Always representing.
Yeah, that was one of the most disappointing moments. But like Cody has trained or switched camps. I love Team Alpha Male, don't get me wrong, but he had switched camps for to have some insight from Team Alpha Male, other insight from somewhere else. I'm trying to think of the coach's name. I messed that up, but anyway, so he was looking for insight from two different places, and they have done so much work with him that it is so impressive the way that he fought when he fought Raphael. He was smooth again. He was the same Cody like you've seen. He wasn't sitting there loading up waiting for something like let's just trade right hands like he did with Pedro. He was finally back and forth and using his movement. He looked phenomenal against a guy who was ranked, I think, number 5 in the bantamweight division. Anyway, so yeah, no, Pedro, he was fighting against Frankie Edgar.
Oh.
And Frankie was coming down to 135.
He's on the DVD I got at home there where Tyson Tony fights Couture.
Yeah.
And I think what is it, Edgar versus Penn. That's the fight. The main event.
Edgar versus Penn, man. Yeah.
Edgar versus Penn. Anyways, thought I'd just bring that up.
No, that's great.
Frankie Edgar. I like him.
So Frankie Edgar, all class, man. This guy reached out.
He's a good fighter. I think
immediately after, like you're coming off like a short notice like pull out because of COVID-19. Frankie Edgar was like, I hope you recover. I'm really sorry to hear this, blah blah, whatever. And like Frankie Edgar, all class, man. All class, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Besides that,
he's a great guy.
The passing of I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Passing of Habib's father, Abdul Manap. He had COVID-19 complications, but he passed away after like recovery of it. And Habib had actually thrown out stuff saying my father's doing well, this and that, and then it was kind of a little random that he said his father had passed. His father was like an icon of the sport. His father was one of the greatest coaches like you could possibly ever ask for. He the things he did with that gym were just so amazing. So yeah, no, very sad. Like
his name was
yeah. So besides that, anyways, no, it was upsetting because you see Habib saying my father's doing okay, my father's like, and whatever.
Then next thing you know,
and then you think back to it, it's like you feel a little bad for him because it was like he was so nervous. Habib himself, he was so nervous about the complications of COVID-19 themselves that's why he didn't want to fight.
Well, some people don't give a flying fuck.
Well, he didn't want to travel, and it's okay either way. If you
some people don't give a fuck about the restrictions.
If you if you care, that's okay. If you don't care, like it's okay too. Like you live your own life. It's okay.
Freedom.
But Habib,
we got freedom. Habib
was like, I don't want to travel. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do this because of the restrictions in my country, because of complications that could come from this because of this, and then for him to lose his father, like not necessarily over it, but to lose him after the complications of it, and possibly have health risks from it. It's very upsetting, man. It really is. Like it's like I feel for him. I feel for the family. I feel for the whole gym in itself. I feel they're very close from those Dagestan fighters.
You can see. I follow Khabib on Instagram. You can see they're all very close.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say from the first podcast, we're with thoughts and prayers are with Khabib's family and friends at this time, and we're very sorry for your loss of your father.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing I guess we would want to bring up for this part of it, before you guys use the washroom or no?
After this topic.
The last thing that I want to bring up that I'm like really excited for this weekend and I'm gonna purchase this weekend is UFC 4 game cover to be revealed this weekend, potentially like during the fights.
UFC
4
game cover. Really? Who do you think's gonna be on it?
Oh, I think Khabib deserves it.
Khabib?
I think he deserves it.
I think so.
I don't know. We had Conor and Ronda Rousey. No. They had
Ronda Rousey's been in the WWE. Now, why would she be on a UFC?
Because you didn't listen to what I just said. We had Conor and Ronda Rousey, we had Conor and Ronda Rousey.
I sometimes don't listen. So.
I think that was UFC 3. UFC 3 video game. I don't think it was 2. UFC.
I thought you said 4.
No. Yes, coming up. UFC 3 video cover. So our UFC 3 was just Conor with his 2 belts. So let's see UFC 2. UFC 2 video game cover.
Let's see this.
Yes, UFC 2 was Conor and Ronda. UFC 3 was just Conor with his 2 belts. UFC 4, man, give it to I think give it to Khabib. I don't know.
I think so. Who else? Who else are you going to give it to? Who's the bigger star right now?
John Jones, maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, John. Oh man, Henry retired, so don't even keep him in the fucking conversation here. Henry, no way. Henry's gonna sit there with his gold medal. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's exciting. I can't wait to see the reveal for that. I'm going to get it immediately.
It's gotta be Khabib.
The last fight, Conor's game, UFC 3, I ended up like playing for 48 hours straight. I barely slept, and
that's made by EA Sports, ain't it?
Yeah. I went in and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do blah blah blah. I beat career mode. Not trying to flaunt my own whatever, but
toot your own horn going here.
Yeah, toot my own horn, but I was like 48 hours straight with a couple hours of sleep, and I was like, all right, I beat it. I kind of play it again, but I don't got anyone to hear. Grandma doesn't want to play it. Like,
next thing you know, she kicks the shit out of everybody in it.
Grandma's like, oh, okay, can I be Henry?
This is easy.
Can I be Henry Cejudo against Francis Ngannou? He just knocks me the fuck out.
It's like the fucking video I sent you on Facebook Messenger with the ex-WNBA player.
Yeah.
And then she like shoots in the store the blonde ball, and she like stares at them, like looking like,
yeah.
Don't play with me. Next challenge. It's the intensity. No fucking shit.
All right, buddy. Okay, so I don't know if you want to use the washroom or stay here, but
yeah, we'll.
I've got some prospect updates coming up, and that's the next part. So if you want to jump out, you can jump out. But
use some washroom.
All right.
Good luck. I'll be right back, folks. If they can hear me.
All right. So we've got huge opportunities for local Ontario, Michigan fighters in the coming months. Sorry, I don't know if that cut out when he was opening the door, but we've got huge opportunities for local Ontario, Michigan fighters in the coming months. What are you doing, dude? Hey. It's cutting out every time that you walk out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Shit. I forgot my smoke. Sorry, man.
And we can hear you now, too. All right.
Restart. I won't be back. I promise.
Okay, close the door because it's... Okay. Anyways, huge opportunities for local Ontario, Michigan fighters in the coming months. First off, congratulations to Malcolm Gordon, who will be replacing Yager Ulanbekov, one of Khabib's teammates who pulled off of the card related to the passing of Khabib's father. Like we said before, the Alsatian fighters, the whole gym there, they are very, very close. So it's tough on everyone. But regardless, like, good for Malcolm. Like, he's set to face Alexander Doskelchuk, both in their UFC debuts on July 18th, Fight Island's card. Malcolm is a well-rounded fighter, and he will take the fight anywhere. Like, I've sparred Malcolm before, and Malcolm, like, even on the feet, like, I've had a lot of boxing experience, and Malcolm with his hands, he knows how to fight. Malcolm knows how to fight. He knows how to knee. He knows how to kick. Malcolm busted me up. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Malcolm busted me up, and his jiu-jitsu is even better than even his stand-up. And Malcolm is going to take the fight anywhere he wants, and I think that's a really, really exciting fight, and I'm so happy for him. It's going to be a great night to watch. Next up, we got the return of Jesse Ronson, who was actually supposed to return, I think, in the UFC later last year or earlier this year, but nevertheless, he will be replacing Danny Roberts, who was off the card due to a scratch injury. Ronson will be fighting Nicholas Dalby. That fight is one of the most exciting fights that I'm looking forward to right now. That's such a great fight. But Dalby is coming to the cage with a record of 2-2-1 in the UFC. He has wins over Oliveira and a draw with Darren Till. Whatever we see happen, it's going to be a good night for sure. And then we make our way back to the UFC Apex cage on August 11th in Vegas, where TJ Laramie, he's getting a shot in the Dana White Contender Series against Daniel Swain. TJ's a heavy favorite with his dominant style. Personally, I think TJ's on his way to a very great career and a contract, and I think that, like, I've watched TJ live. TJ, he knows how to fight. He has a very Habib, George St. Pierre type of wrestling style, where he'll pick you apart on your feet for a little bit, and then he'll take the fight down whenever he feels like it. TJ is going to do some damage, and I think this is where it starts. And then finally, the guy I shared an octagon with, I fought him. Like, he knows how to fight. He's gritty, skilled, technical, just an all-around awesome fighter. Jose Johnson from Michigan. He's set to fight on Dana White Contender Series in the UFC Apex on September 1st against Ronnie Lawrence. This guy, man, like, Jose Johnson, he has a highlight reel that you cannot even imagine. He's like, even his amateur career, he's knocked out guys with a head kick that knocked out their prosthetic eyes. He has this recent knockout that's went viral where he's knocking out people, or knocking out a guy with his, I think it's Costa. Costa might have been his name. He knocked him out with an elbow standing. Guy fell down. Jose hit him with a hammer fist. Guy's head bobbled. It was like he's turning people into bobbleheads. This guy knows what he's doing. I became such a, like, sharing the cage with him was great, but I became such a huge fan of this man. Like, he is going to impress somebody, and hopefully it's on September 1st. He's going to impress somebody where it matters. Anyways, yeah, good luck to all the Warriors, like, coming up. If I missed anyone, like, we'll get back to that on the next one. But I'm really excited for these four fighters, and I think they're all going to make some huge statements coming up. Hey, Seth? Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about was something that just came up with Usman's father's story today on ESPN. Usman has been called out for just give me a sec. Yeah, Usman has been called out for the yeah, jump back in.
I'm back.
Yeah, Usman has been okay, it's cutting out again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was not good.
Sorry.
Okay.
Jesus.
It's all good. Yeah, okay, so I'm we're actually, it's kind of perfect timing, but I just got into a little bit before.
I'm back, guys. Sorry for the delay. Someone is cooking a bomb-ass barbecue out there, by the way. Burgers going. Smells delicious. I don't know, one of your neighbors.
Well.
Smells awesome.
Okay, no, what I was getting into was Kamaru Usman's father's story that I wanted to tell you earlier. So basically, the whole story to it was the inside story, ESPN had just posted it. The inside story of Kamaru Usman, his father in a Texas prison. From 2015 to 2019, Kamaru Usman fought 11 times in the UFC, including in his bouts on The Ultimate Fighter. Despite going undefeated in those 11 fights, he never made a single pay-per-view appearance. Ever.
Why not?
Coby Covington, one of Kamaru's fiercest rivals,
boy, Colby Covington.
You've said that twice. Okay, we're gonna jump straight in. So when we were in Vegas watching the fights, we were outside, and Coby Covington.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
Coby Covington showed up to the fights, unwanted, unwelcome, and
by him.
No, by everyone.
Okay.
And he's wearing his MAGA hat, whatever.
Trump.
He's wearing his
Trump train.
He's wearing it there too. He's wearing his MAGA hat, and he starts mouthing off to the crowd and to this and that. After Usman beat Tyron Woodley, and he's whatever doing this in his little fucking okay. All right, I'm getting a little too much into it, but his little suit, and then everybody starts booing in the arena. Boo, get out of here, blah, blah.
The fuck out of here, clown.
It was fun. I'm not going to lie. It was fun.
I would have been yelling.
But then...
why not? Fuck.
Then he ends up walking outside, after the fights end. And me and... I'm, so into this. Trust me, I was into it. I was like, yeah, fuck you. Blah, blah. Coby Covington. Nice suit, whatever. I was all into it, man. I was all into it, man. I'm a 125-pound fighter when I cut down. I'm saying, yeah, go to hell.
Did you say his security turned around, looked?
No,
at you
that's no. This was in the arena still. I was screaming. So then we get out, and all of a sudden, me, Bradshaw, and Ryan are all walking down whatever Vegas Strip, whatever, outside of the arena, and it was a moment where you're you see this person. I felt like a troll. Where you're
an internet troll, or
I felt like an internet troll who shouldn't have said what I said after I said it.
Be on the keyboard. That's actually
No. I felt like an internet troll on the keyboard. Yes.
So you were saying words where you were typing and
where I felt like I was typing it,
but you were actually saying.
But I was in person. Guy. So Coby Covington, all of a sudden, we did not expect this. We're seeing thousands of people outside. Coby Covington and his entire team of security walks by us, and I turn my head and I'm like, this fucking guy. I look back at them, and I immediately my whole demeanor changed, where I was like, oh shit, I'm not talking to him I'm screaming from my seat in the stands. I'm talking to the number one contender.
And then they turn around what the
I don't know if Coby hurt himself, but his whole security team turns around and gives me this just nasty face. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I got Bradshaw, Ryan. Are we about to get into a fight with Coby Covington's team right now? Like,
I hate to say it, like, I think you guys might have been on the losing end of that
I
battle.
think so too, yeah.
If you guys end up going Colby Covington's security team,
I agree. I think I would have possibly uncontrollably shit my pants. Like, I was drunk enough that I would have thought it was cool. I'd been like, yeah, bring it up, bro. Come on.
It's like when
nice bag of hat.
We were at the WWE event here in Sarnia when I lipped off Sheamus. Said, Sheamus, you fucking suck.
Yeah. And he looked at you?
And he looked up at me. I said, hey, Sheamus. He looked up when all these kids were in front with their parents. I said, you fucking suck. What if he would have leaped over the fucking balcony, came at me? He would have torn me to pieces.
Sheamus.
Fucking.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so we were going on, though. Yeah, Coby Covington, one of his fiercest rivals, actually faced against him during a news conference in 2018. Coby told Kamaru, because he never fought in the pay-per-view, or stick to basic cable, because he wasn't popular enough for pay-per-view events. Almost no one knew that behind the scenes, Kamaru had asked the UFC not to book him on pay-per-view until he fought for a title and would have no choice. He knew that... sorry, I'm pronouncing this wrong, but Seoul prison camp would not purchase a pay-per-view for his father. In May 2010, a jury convicted Kamaru's father, Muhammad Usman, on 14 federal charges related to healthcare fraud. The result was a 180-month prison sentence and restitution of $1.3 million. If you're going in a place like that, it's easy to feel like you're one of the outcasts and no one cares about you. That you have no one on the outside waiting for you, and that's kind of the stigma. That's what Kamaru
if you have
said.
a 180-year sentence, no one if you live
180 month.
Oh,
did I say year?
I thought you did.
Okay. If I was wrong, I said 180 month.
Okay.
So
say year.
So he said though, so to be able to be on the outside and do something everyone in prison could see, because a place like that, everyone's saying things like, "Oh, I used to box," or "My nephew boxes," to be able to show them that there was a sense of pride for me that I could provide to my father. And then Muhammad Usman was released from the Federal Correction Institution in February, I believe, of this year. After serving nearly 10 years in his 15-year sentence. So he is finally out, and he's obviously either in person or watching his son on pay-per-view. I would assume in person after that long. He's watching his son fight against Jorge Masvidal.
You would hope so.
And that is a phenomenal story. I love that so much. So that's like good for him. Good for Usman. Usman, class act completely.
Right on. Absolutely.
So next thing I want to get into was favorite fighters in life. What you go first? From start to finish.
What, in boxing?
In anything, bro.
Oh man. Well,
I'm specifically going off boxing because that's all I knew as a kid.
Well, let me go with boxing, and I'll get to WWE, like wrestlers, and then I'll get to MMA guys.
Okay.
So, boxing, you know who I'm going to say number one, Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time.
That was your favorite fighter, though. Not just the greatest?
Oh, the one...
No, your favorite fighters.
Oh, jeez.
Not who you think is the greatest. Who are your favorite fighters?
Well, Muhammad Ali is one.
Okay.
When
was he one? When was he one of the greatest... Or your favorite fighter, sorry.
Why?
When?
When?
What part of your life?
When I started boxing.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it progressed to who?
And then I got into the Ricky Hatton. I respect him.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
The Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman, Ricky Hatton. Still love that guy. One that really... Yeah, it's... There's been a few in boxing, you know, like you can like watch different people.
I'll let you think about it. I'll let you think about it then, and I'm gonna tell you mine while you think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
please do. I don't want to make it awkward silence.
No, I've got Paul Williams, my first favorite fighter of all time. First favorite fighter, Paul Williams.
Tall guy, over 6 feet, had the reach, but he went in the brawling style would knock motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
Knock them to the canvas.
So Paul Williams, like, unfortunately, like, obviously everybody knows what happens. Paul Williams is in a wheelchair now. He's disabled. He's like, that was one of the saddest moments, I think, in my, like, life of watching.
Devastating.
Yeah, of watching boxing.
It was heartbreaking, man.
It is very heartbreaking.
When I saw that, I was like, oh man, really? This talented guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All his fights were entertaining. You put a Paul Williams fight on, you're entertained.
I agree.
Doesn't matter who he's against. See a good fucking
Paul
fight.
Williams, right when I started boxing at 12. When I seen Paul Williams, there was just something special about him, and I was so upset, man, it's so upsetting for the fight community in general, but no, Paul Williams is like an icon. He is just such a great person. He's such a great, like, fighter. He's just everything that the sport needs. And, like, it shows, man. You see him come on with, like, his wheelchair, like, to weigh-ins, and people are nothing but love for Paul Williams, man. Like,
he was a great fighter, a great legacy. Another one that I want to honorably mention here is Sweet Pea. When Sweet Pea went...
Yes, sir.
Sweet Pea. Whitaker, man.
Yep.
One of the greatest of all fucking time. When he passed, I was like, no, a legend just. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sweet Pea Whitaker. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, next... I had, obviously, my next favorite fighter when I was about 14, 15, Steve Molitor. I'm like, to this day, I'm like, I obviously, like, I have, like, I was going to say, like, right here, I've got my Floyd Mayweather, or sorry, not the Roy Jones Jr. glove. Signatured, like, Roy Jones Jr. is
RJ.
RJ Jr. Yeah, no, he's my favorite fighter of all time. There's just so much everything in his fight game. It's so like great to watch. Like even Roy back or now, like I hear why do I keep saying Floyd? But I hear a Roy Jones Jr. fight happen, and even though I know like he's out of his prime, I know this, I gotta watch it. Like you see the flexibility, the agility, like. Of him.
Oh, you're interested in the fight. You're interested. You're intrigued, right?
I watched one where I can't remember who it was against, but he knocked that guy around.
James Toney?
Not James Toney.
Where James Toney tried to be what did he do? Like he ended up getting fucking clocked.
Okay. Yeah, no, but what I was gonna say about Steve was like, yeah, no, Roy is my favorite all time. I don't think that will change, but. Steve Molitor, I remember he was my favorite fighter when I was like 14, 15. I'm still a huge fan.
Canadian icon.
Canadian kid. Yeah, no,
the Canadian kid, Steve Molitor.
I was at a hockey tournament when I was like, I think it was 14. And I was in a room full of like, we were playing that weekend. And we had a game the next morning, but like the coaches were so awesome to us that they're like, hey, like we'll let you watch the fights tonight. We're gonna get them up. And he was fighting Celestino Caballero, the tall. Whatever.
I think I might remember that fight actually. The name sounds familiar. The opponent's name.
Steve, I believe, because I was young, but I believe he was undefeated at that time. And I walked around the room telling every single one of those asshole guys on my team that this is Steve Molitor. He can never lose. This is the greatest guy ever. And those are one of those moments because Steve ended up, like, I think it was the 4th round. He ended up getting clipped and he ended up getting dropped. And I remember the awkward silence of everyone in that room looking at me going like, oh man, like Devin must be like devastated right now. And I was, but it was like, it was sitting there and it was like, it was the first moment when I realized that, like, even your heroes aren't indestructible. No. Like, it was a learning moment for me, where it was like, even my idol, my hero, can be broken down and has to fight back from...
Which it means you could have to do the same one day.
And that, in all aspects of life.
Exactly.
It taught me.
Even out of the fight game, right?
Yeah.
Even out of the fight game, not in the cage, not in the ring, just outside, wherever. Jobs, you're fighting to get a job.
It was truly a moment where it was like I was sitting there.
It's a good experience.
I was sitting there going, like, one, I could feel the tension around me where I was like, oh man, like I talked this up so much, but it was like another learning moment where it was like, my hero now has to come back and prove himself in his next fight. And that's where I learned, like, you fall down, you come back, because he did. He had some great fights after that.
Everyone makes mistakes in life.
Well, it's not a mistake. Like, it's like, Celestino Caballero is an absolute animal, but it was like, it was, I was truly not necessarily, like, devastated to watch the fight. It was like I was truly, like, it hit me in a different way where I was like, wow, like, I've never experienced watching my idol go down like that.
Get knocked around in a way.
But then, like I said, he came back. He fought some great guys. He had a couple losses, but then he fought other guys and he beat them. And I think it was, I don't know if it was Britain or something. He fought a guy from Britain. I
remember when he went to South Africa and fought Nadana or something. Lost the belt in South Africa.
Who's that?
Molitor.
And what?
He went to South Africa. He lost his belt. Look it up. Nadana or something like that.
Oh no, that's the guy he fought him a few times.
Yeah, but he did lose to him in South Africa.
Yeah, but that was like...
That was long ago. I'm not saying that was yesterday.
No, like like NDLOVU.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. But
he beat him for the belt at one point.
Yeah, I know. I thought he beat him a couple times. Didn't he?
I watched a few fights.
Well, he beat him once. Yeah, he beat him once. Yeah, okay, that's the start of the career. I thought he beat him I thought he beat him twice before that.
Well, he went in there. Well, Steve went into...
Yeah, okay, he beat him by TKO in 2007.
In Africa, right?
And then he beat him...
That's the fight I saw.
And then he beat him again in 2010 by unanimous decision. But then he lost to him by unanimous decision in 2011.
Yeah.
So he's 2-1 against him.
Yeah, he lost in Canada.
Yeah.
The African guy. He lost in Canada, right?
But Steve beat him like twice, man.
But
it was. I thought it was pretty clear too. Like his first real loss was to Caballero, and then he lost. Like Carl Frampton is amazing. You know Carl Frampton?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Carl Frampton's an amazing fighter, and then that fight he lost unanimous decision. It's like that was like his third last fight, man. Like, and he's already beat the guy twice. So I think his only two solid losses would be to Celestino Caballero and Carl Frampton. Like besides that, he's had almost a flawless career. He 34-3. Like I think that's a pretty solid career, but it's...
Well, a lot of people discredit Ricky Hatton's career. Well, how much loss do you have? He's fought good fucking fighters.
2 losses.
A lot of people say you went down. Okay, he got... Yeah.
I was so scared. I was so scared with that fight. When we watched him go down, though,
he looked dead when he went down.
Yeah.
Limp body. Mayweather handed him a loss. You know what I mean? Like...
I'm gonna... He's the Washington.
You're stepping out.
Step up for a sec. I'm gonna cut this part out.
This is the edit?
Yeah.
Ugh. I think it's going good so far, actually. I won't say nothing, don't worry. A lot of editing. Yeah. Musical chairs. Oh.
Anyways, yeah, so back into that, like, we had, like, with favorite fighters, like, there was a lot of, thing I wanted to tell you earlier, like, was about a Detroit show that we fought at.
And I'm going to touch on favorite fighters.
Oh, boxing. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely,
you
bro,
said you'll let me get back to that.
Yeah, and I forgot, and I'm sorry. Do you hate me, or what?
Huh?
Do you hate me?
Not yet. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But you obviously know Muhammad Ali, Ricky Hatton, James Toney. You obviously know, and he's had an UFC fight. You know what I mean? So he's
James Toney. Like he looked like flawless.
What do you mean?
In his first UFC fight.
You're fucking lying when you say that, because you fucking joke about it every time when we watch this shit. But yeah, James Toney. Who else? I mentioned Ricky Hatton. Another guy. When I was younger, when I first started like boxing in 2009.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Amir Khan.
Amir Khan.
I thought he hit the way he bounced around.
Is he not a silver medalist at the Olympics?
Well, when he was younger, he
silver, I think, right?
I think he was Olympic.
Yeah, Amir Khan,
England. Yeah. I liked him when I started boxing. He was one of my favorites. Was Amir Khan. Marco Antonio.
Yeah, he won a silver medal in the lightweight division. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Marco Antonio Barrera is another good guy.
Oh yeah. And you remember him?
Dismantling fucking Nazim.
Yeah, Nazim.
Cocksucker. Fucking. Just beat the fuck. Yeah, just beat the fuck out.
I love that guy, though.
It was what, Nazim?
Yep.
Fuck. Have you seen him now? Fat as fuck when he fought at like 30.
He looks like Russell Peters.
What did he fight? Yeah, he he does actually.
Little bit. Just a
little bit, yeah. But what the guy? He used to fight at what? 130? 140?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Now what's he weigh now? Look at him now.
I don't know. He's about to like step up and fight Ricky Hatton.
Ricky Hatton. Well, that's the thing with like all fighters after they retire. Like they all say, the biggest like combatant for a fighter is food and alcohol or something that.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest battle is food. You have to be able to control that craving and weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's the thing. Like my dad even like the other night, he's like, "Hey, you're looking a little chubby." I'm like, "Fuck you."
Who says that to their kid?
When he walks in, he goes, "Oh, bud, you're looking a little chubby." I'm like, "Fuck you, man. I still got a 6-pack."
Yeah.
I was like,
did you say you got like a 48 pack?
But you know why I got offended though is because I was eating so much. It's the same shit. Like me and Nolan were talking about the other night. Like himself, his dad, me, everybody. Like a lot of those guys. Like we end up we stop fighting and it's
you
like
start eating.
We're like we couldn't do this for years. We couldn't eat for years. And you start eating, you start drinking, you start doing all this, and it's like.
There you go.
It takes a toll on your body, man. Yeah. It's just like
that's why if you look up in history, a lot of fighters they pack on pounds because they miss it throughout so much years of like say you fight for 20, like say Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He started fighting when he was 16 years old, a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
Now he's starting to drink. He's getting older. He's what, in his 30s now? So guess what? When he's done boxing, guess what's going to happen to him?
Oh, okay. But like I said, we cannot even count Julio Cesar Chavez in that fucking conversation because Julio Cesar Chavez Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Jr.
His father's an absolute fucking legend.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him.
Yeah, no, but I said we can't even count him in that conversation because he's drinking while he's fighting. He's eating while he's fighting.
And are you going to sit there and tell me you didn't drink when you were fighting?
No, I didn't. Actually, no, I was like for the last 2 fights.
Whenever time.
For the last 2 fights of my career, when I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, yes. Before that, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I did not drink. I did not. My weight cut, I was down to one of the worst diets you can possibly do. I was cutting off of a protein diet. A protein diet. Where I was eating 700.
What, milkshake
It was
stuff?
so unhealthy, man. It was so unhealthy, but it was the way that I did it. It was like, I was cutting down doing, like, in the last week, 700 calories a day. You got 700 calories in that Budweiser. No, just close to it probably, but no, but it was like
it doesn't tell you how much.
As far as drinking, dude, no, I did until I moved up and I was fighting MMA. No, I did not like ever touch alcohol during my training camp. I did not ever touch junk food during my training camp. I was strict, but then you start to lose interest, and then it's where it goes. It's where it goes, man. But
that's the way I went with the boxing. But anyways,
yeah.
We'll continue.
Okay, but did you give me your favorite fighters? You said Muhammad Ali.
James Toney. Amir Khan. Ricky Hatton, of course.
Ricky Hatton.
And I'm going to say Sugar Ray Robinson, and then...
Do you got any non-boxers? Besides James Toney's debut in MMA.
Oh, that's another thing. Okay, Vitor Belfort for MMA.
Fuck yeah, I like that.
I love him.
I like that, yeah.
I like... Lyoto Machida, he's another one of my favorite. Shogun Rua. Those are my top 3.
That was the other one where Rashad Evans got knocked out by Lyoto.
I like Machida. He just kicks he just beat like karate style.
Can you do that again? Yeah, no. Like it was so.
Those are my guys.
Again, I have
Frankie Edgar. Yeah, I like him too.
I have a few moments in fighting, like I told you earlier.
Oh, Ken Shamrock also.
I have a few moments. I have a few moments in fighting where I get very, very upset with watching them lose. Rashad Evans losing to Lyoto Machida was one of the saddest moments of my life too.
It was one of my best moments.
One of the best, yeah.
Fucking right. Okay. I think I have that at home.
Anyway, speaking of great fighters though, we've got the one I wanted to tell you about earlier was the Detroit boxing show. So I met
Aretha Franklin.
That she was one of them. So I met Miguel Cotto.
Oof.
I met
that's another boxer I meant to.
I was only 16, so I was almost as tall as Miguel Cotto at that time.
So you were starstruck right now.
I was so starstruck.
You're
bro, you don't even understand.
16-year-old high school kid walking in there and seeing these Aretha Franklin, a big superstar of singing, and Miguel Cotto, one of the prominent
what I want to get into there is so I've seen Miguel Cotto, I've seen Emmanuel Stewart, who is one of the most legendary coaches ever to live from
Rest
Kronk.
in peace.
Oh my god, bro. You're ready for this? Tommy Hearns.
The Hitman.
The Hitman Hearns, baby.
From Detroit, Motor City. Awesome fighter. When I'm going to talk about him for a minute. When Wade was training me in the ring, he would say, "Show me Tommy Hearns," because I was a taller guy. That's the way he tried to teach me, was Tommy Hearns, stomach up top. So I'd go home, watch Tommy Hearns stuff.
Nice.
But anyways, go on.
No, okay, actually though, on that though, it's speaking of Wade, when you were gone to the washroom, I was talking about the fighters coming up. Wade was actually refereeing, I believe, it was either him or his brother. It was either TJ Laramie.
I didn't even know he had a brother.
No, not Wade's brother. Sorry, it was either TJ Laramie or his brother Tony.
Oh, okay.
But they boxed in boxing Ontario for a little bit, and Wade was refereeing, and he remembers this because obviously it was what TJ was meant for, because he was in a boxing match, and Wade says he had to stop the fight off of disqualification because TJ got I don't know what happened exactly. I can't remember the whole story, but he ended up eventually lifting him up from his legs on a double leg and slamming him to the ground in an Ontario boxing match, bro. Like, and Wade, yeah, no, Wade told me, he's
unbelievable.
He's like, yeah, no, like, I stopped the fight, and he remembers it, like, clearly, and it was like, it was really interesting to hear, but it was like, fuck, man, like, the guy, that was a long time ago, but, like, the guy obviously, like, found his sport, and he's shooting to the stars with that. But it's a funny story to hear when Wade brought it up to me, like, over 5 years ago, and he's like, yeah, I was, like, I was refereeing this match, and, like, this guy, like, took the legs and just slammed the guy on the ground after, like, something happened. And
can you imagine if it was like Brock Lesnar? He was refereeing and that guy just, like, went to the stars. But that's crazy, though. You never know.
So back to the Detroit boxing show, though.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, we had, like, Tommy Hearns there. It was so amazing, man. Like, got pictures with all of them. My pictures ended up getting lost.
Hitman. How the fuck did you lose your pictures with the Hitman Hearns?
It was like,
man, come on.
It was like 20. Okay, it was 16, so it was 10 years ago. It was 2010.
This guy.
It was 2010. iPhones weren't, like, whatever. Like, iPhones weren't a huge thing. Like, so you weren't like, oh, boom, click it, put it on social media,
Instagram,
put it on TikTok.
I don't even think Instagram existed in 2010. No, it didn't. I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but either way, I didn't have it. I didn't
TikTok.
I didn't have Facebook. I had, but I only had since I was like 15 or 14, I think. So I barely was on social media. All I knew was, like, I got this picture taken, and I never.
It was mostly MSN, folks.
Yeah. So MSN. So I ended up asking for those pictures. I don't even remember who took them, but I asked for the pictures and I never got them. And it sucked because I was like, yeah, there's Miguel Cotto, Tommy Hearns. But then the biggest thing that happened that night was I'm sitting there getting ready for my fight. I'm fighting a guy. He has, like we were talking about earlier about the smokers. The smoker fights where they're, like, not sanctioned, but they're fights.
But yeah, there's some money in on those fights.
So yeah,
but they're not legally sanctioned.
Yeah, so the guy that I was fighting,
but
I think he had, like, it was something like 40 or 50 fights sanctioned, but then he had, like, almost double the fights unsanctioned in a smoker. So we're sitting there and we're like, okay, I'm warming up for my fight, and I'm like, whatever, shadow boxing, blah, 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 getting a sweat on. I look out and they're doing the national anthem. He's like, oh, Canada. That's my beautiful voice. So she's, like, singing, and I look out.
Canada.
And I'm obviously not cultured enough because I look out and I'm like, can this fucking girl hurry up? Why is she extending so many notes? Like, can we just get the fights on? I'm pretty sure it was Wade or it was someone else, but somebody eventually told me that was Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. And I'm sitting there going, like, can the Queen of Soul please get off the stage so I can have my fight? And I was like, I felt like such an asshole when I felt like...
You disrespected the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
I guess so, yeah. I didn't know that.
Who the fuck are you to go out there and do that?
You know what's worse? You know what's worse than that? You know what's worse?
Oh boy, I don't want to know. Do I want to know?
So I'm sitting there doing that, and then
I want to know?
Years later, I'm telling this story, like, to my sister, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, blah blah, and I told her the whole story. Same day, I get upstairs, and I'm changing my son's diaper, and he likes to watch videos, like, to calm him down, so he doesn't have to lay on his back. So when I'm changing his diaper, I'm like, hey man, just watch this Sesame Street video of Aretha Franklin singing the ABCs. I hand it to him. He goes like this. I realize after it's not even Aretha Franklin. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I'm the worst person ever. Like, I'm so sorry. I think RESPCT. I think it's amazing, but, like, I guess I just am not, like, cultured enough for this shit.
Oh,
like,
man.
But that's
learning experience, man.
16 years old. I was like, I thought my fight was more important than hearing one of the greatest soul singers ever to live on stage, apparently, and I feel so bad about that.
It seems like a reoccurring occurrence with you, man.
What are you talking about?
Well, you seem to lip off a doctor that happened to be Faisal at an event. And then you go and
I was not lipping off Faisal.
Yo, you disagreed with him stopping the fight. What is that? You said you raised your voice. Don't try to back.
You want to rewind back the tape? Because
we're live right now.
You want to rewind back the tape because what I said was I disagreed with him while I was sitting there drinking because I was like a drunk fan who wanted to see a 5th round, but when I watched the fight, not drunk and not whatever, I was totally okay with that stoppage.
You listened to this, right? Okay. No, he wasn't. Not at all.
I was okay with him stopping that fight. For the health of Brian Ortega and his family, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyways, okay, we're moving on. Yeah, we're moving on because you're starting to piss me off, bro. Okay.
Okay, what do we got?
You want to talk about your WD shit?
It's not shit.
It's okay.
But okay.
You're getting mouthy after 2 hours of podcasting, eh?
I guess so.
Yeah.
It seems like it seems to be going that way. But there's not much to share about the WWE. We have a longer conversation coming after the last topic.
Wait, what do you mean coming after? After this is off?
The tongue.
Ooh.
Undertaker's tongue. Yeah, that's what I mean. After. So, for WWE, I have to start with Stephanie McMahon and, well, all the McMahon family lost their grandmother, Evelyn, at 93. Non-COVID related. I'm going to just put that out there. So, be with prayers and thoughts are with them and their family. And we have a new NXT champion. For any of the fans out there that have been paying attention, this is well-deserved. Keith Lee. If you look at this guy, he's big.
But are you attracted to him?
Fuck off. See, he always goes the gay way. But anyways, the guy could flip off a top rope and like just slam on somebody.
Slam on who?
You would love if it was you're a fuck. But anyways, don't mind this guy. He beats Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion, and he becomes a dual champion because he holds the North American NXT Championship and also now the NXT Championship. Next, I have to say, Charlotte Flair could be out from now to 2021. She has been shoved down everyone's throats for the last 2 years.
Is that like Lee with you or what?
Huh?
Like Lee with you?
What's that?
Like Lee with you?
What did you say?
Like Lee.
Glee.
Lee. L-E-E.
Oh, no.
With you?
No.
Shoved down your throat for years or what? Okay, alright.
You see how this looks? Yeah, that's... But she has faced an elbow injury or an arm injury. One of the two. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go ahead and message me. But she's been on TV, everything, blah, blah, blah. Now she's injured. So she could be out for 2021. And finally, and lastly, The Undertaker has finally retired. From 1990 Survivor Series.
I got a question though on that.
I'm not done my introduction yet.
Did you not say...
You fucking asshole. Sorry.
Did you not say that The Undertaker retired years ago too?
He's done it a couple times.
So he's Floyd Mayweather. He's Conor McGregor.
Well, you know what? I think The Undertaker is older than both those guys.
Well, it's a different sport.
This is sports entertainment, right?
No, but it's a different sport. He can retire, for the rest of his life.
He could if he wanted to.
No, like on and off. I mean, like what do you like?
Because he's bored. That's why he comes back. Okay. He wants something to do.
Yeah.
But they say, sorry for his interruption. This is my segment. They say he is done. He's not coming back when he just recently signed a 15-year contract from this year, 2020. So when this 15-year contract expires, he'll be 70 years old. And if I see him...
He's 55? Wow.
He's old. He's an old man. You were over at my place and you watched the fucking videos. You saw how old the guy is.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Really? Yeah.
It's crazy. Unbelievable.
Okay, so... Yeah, he's out. What do you mean he signed a 15-year contract before he retired?
15, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe for paydays, WrestleMania contracts, okay. Pay-per-views. That's the only thing I could think of. I don't see why he keeps going on. Why did he retire when he had a 15-year payday? Because he's fucking old. He retired. Well, the fact of the matter is he signed the contract, then retired.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So I don't know how WWE is going to do that, or work this out, or how the two of them will work out. But allegedly, he will be 70 when his contract runs out with WWE.
Okay.
So
do you think his contract runs as long as his tongue? That was a pretty slide moving, eh?
It's smooth move right there.
Smooth move.
Smooth move. Now you can see why he's got a hot wife. With the tongue, right? That's why he's got a hot wife. Fuck.
Well, okay, so...
I had to. God.
So when he's coming out and he's doing all that, like obviously we seen the first time I was talking about where the Undertaker comes out and like he announces a retirement for whatever time that was, and we're talking about like, oh my god, like these guys are so fucking over exaggerated in the audience, where they're sitting there bawling their eyes out like okay, I just came out of my mom's fucking basement and like this is all I had to look forward to and now my night's ruined, kind of shit. And then all of a sudden, and I say that as we're sitting in my grandma's basement, so like so it's all good
at Gmaz, so it's all good.
But
look at this is sweet, so who cares?
Yeah, but so it's like at that point it's like the Undertaker, like he's done so many times, it's like it's a Conor McGregor and like anything else, you retire so many times, people stop believing it, and it's like then you do it. It's like okay, like there are certain reasons that Conor McGregor does it. It's either to come back for a new payday. There's certain reasons that people do it for a contract, like everybody was saying this year, oh, I'm gonna retire, just because that was the popular thing to do during COVID. They were getting bored.
The only reason I see the Undertaker coming back is for one more match, and that would be this year's Survivor Series, because it would mark officially a 30-year career. He's already lost to Brock Lesnar. Beat him. He ended up being 21-0 at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So the only reason, he doesn't have. He lost twice. Roman Reigns ended up beating him later, but that's beside the point. The only reason I see Undertaker coming back, if any way this crazy guy, he just doesn't want to let it go, but it would have to be Survivor Series to mark the 30 years. That's when he debuted, was Survivor Series 1990. Okay. So if he ended his career at Survivor Series 2020, that would complete. That's the only time I see the Undertaker coming back into wrestling. why else? You do it. You make your 30-year. You started at Survivor Series pay-per-view, and you end at it 30 years later. What else do you need? I think that's... If you're going to see him again, I think this Survivor Series is when you're going to see him. After that, I don't think so. I probably will be proven wrong. Wrestlers, they always say they're going to retire. But they come back 3-4 fucking years later. So, Undertaker said he was going to retire 3 fucking times, and he's been back.
So back to Undertaker's tongue.
It's probably the Gene Simmons of Kiss of wrestling.
Do you think that the Undertaker ever shagged up with John Cena's wife while he wasn't looking? Because you can't see him.
Just because Undertaker can't see John Cena doesn't mean John Cena can't see the Taker.
Yeah, but he can't see him, so he doesn't care. He's sitting there going, ah. and then John Cena's sitting there with that look in his face going, nobody can see him in the corner because you can't see John Cena.
Just a heartbroken guy?
It really is.
Yep. Being cockholded.
That's so stupid. Cut that out.
God. Always. Good God.
All right. What's your... I think you want to talk about this earlier. What's your favorite tough seasons?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go with number 1. Because Diego Sanchez is one of my favorite fighters.
Oh, man. That was great.
I like the first season. First season's my favorite. Going to go with that one. You had Chris Lieben on there. Diego Sanchez, sorry. Josh, what's it? Kendrick, you had, shit. There was another guy on there. Forrest Griffin was there. I think that was the best one. I have it at home. Number 1 is my favorite. Ultimate Fighter season is number 1.
What about Let Me Bang, bro?
There's been interesting characters throughout, right? Let me bang, bro.
I do let you bang. I do.
Let me bang again.
I do.
That fucking guy. It's all good. Oops. It's all good.
Yeah, okay, so mine, I think, like, I really loved watching Brad Katona, like, from... he's that Manitoba Irish mix with his accents and shit when he's training out with McGregor out there. I really liked watching his whole thing because he came in as like a very big underdog, like to win the tough, and I loved, like, there were 2 different weight classes going in that tough, but I loved watching him rise to everything that people didn't think was going to happen. Like, he was such a big underdog, man, but it was fucking awesome to watch. The other one, I like watching the drama between coaches, obviously. Rampage breaking the door, Cody and TJ getting each other's face, everything, fucking even Uriah with Conor McGregor, that was hilarious too. There's a lot of great coach experiences, but I think, like, as far as fighter experiences, I love the Canadian coming up.
What season was Kimbo Slice involved in?
I don't know the exact season, but that was a great season as well. Yeah,
it was the heavyweight one, wasn't it? Wasn't it like focused on heavyweights? Then you had the one where it was. I like this guy too. Michael Bisping. He was the coach of the UK team against. I forget who the coach of the US team was, but there was a.
No, I remember that because I just
Ultimate
watched
Fighter season.
It was
about that. And I was like,
it was.
No, this is the wrong way to juice a lime. I'm gonna make it this far.
That's my TikTok. Sorry.
Oops.
My TikTok
Sorry,
came.
folks.
Was it not Dan Henderson?
Mate, yeah.
Was
Bisping versus Henderson?
Tough.
UK versus USA? Because it was a UK... Dan Hardy.
Yeah, it was Bisping
Dan
versus
Hardy.
It was Bisping versus Henderson, but I remember Bisping came out, like, there was one video about Bisping walking around and basically saying, like, hey, like, we're gonna change the routine for the last week before these fights.
Yeah.
And Henderson was not having it, and they got in a big disagreement about that. And Bisping, you know how, like, open and upfront he is about everything, so it was like the Count
Bisping, man.
He said nope. Like, in his accent, he's like, nope, we're doing it this way. And Henderson's like, well, that's not fair, like this and that. And he goes, Bisping's like, well, we did this whole way. You said we could switch. We're switching this now. It's the last week. We're doing this. He goes, you're not going to do this the last week of whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they get a big argument about that. But I do remember that tough season. And, yeah, Bisping had a lot of moments in it that was pretty funny because it's just who he is.
Great, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, okay, so... Besides that, so we got, like, your WWE news. We got
got that out of the way.
We said, Jorge about, like, Jorge fighting in Kimbo's backyard. We already talked about that a little bit, I think. The other thing you wanted to talk about specifically was your movie roles.
My movie
Not
roles.
your movie roles specifically, but you wanted to talk about the movie roles coming up.
Of Jamie Foxx playing Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's biopic.
When's it supposed to come out? Or when's it supposed to be filmed or come out, or what's the
I
idea
haven't seen yet.
Okay.
But you can see pics of Jamie Foxx bulking up and Mike Tyson.
Bulking up? Is he looking big?
He's looking pretty muscular, yeah. Yep. And it looks more impressive than the Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry,
Chris Hemsworth is pretty jacked, though.
He's pretty jacked. It's just in the face. I don't see... You know what? He'll probably do a good job.
Is there a date on that one? The Hulk Hogan movie?
2021.
It's coming out next year. So he's only got a few months to fucking bulk up before they start filming.
Chop, chop,
or have they started filming?
Don't know.
Okay.
Well, since COVID, things just kind of, like, get shoved around, right? So you like lose schedules and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my extent on that. Another thing is, like, with the Tyson, like, my thing is, like, why would Tyson warn Jamie Foxx about playing him?
What do you mean he warned him? About what, though?
I'm gonna have to look into it, so don't quote trash talking with Devin on this, but I saw an article saying, hey, be careful or something.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm going to have to look into this more, or
be careful about what?
Being him. Maybe taking it too serious. I don't know. I didn't understand.
Okay, so he was worried about
Jamie Foxx. I don't know.
Because actors take on the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Maybe that's what I took from it, right?
Okay.
But I need to look more into it. So I just saw an article. It could have even been fake. Who knows? You know how much things float around. I said, trash talking with Devin. We're not quoting this. It's something I heard.
I will love if I see in that movie Jamie Foxx on stage going, I'll fuck you till you love me.
I will fucking...
Beep. I'm not going to say the last part, but beep. I'll fuck you till you love me.
Beep!
Yeah. Okay. Well, he said it. But anyways.
I was just burping.
Yeah, no, that would be hilarious to see. That would be, like, that whole movie, like, I'm excited to see.
Would that be a pivotal moment in Tyson's life, though?
What? To watch that back?
No, for a company to document where he turns around and yells at a guy because the guy goes, put him in straitjacket. You put your mom in the straitjacket. Is that a scene you would put in Tyson's movie, or and then he goes off the rails?
It depends which direction the movie goes in, because if it's meant to make Tyson look like a saint, like based off of his career.
An ass kissing movie.
Yeah, an ass kissing movie, basically. Then
those ones suck.
Then no, but if it's like, oh, Mike Tyson is coming out and he's doing this, he's doing that, then of course you add it.
I would add it. Fuck. Show. I hate ass kissing movies and documentaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show who they are.
Do you remember? You had something to say about this earlier. Do you remember temporary back tattoos in boxing?
Yes.
I don't know if it was in the UFC. I think it was because I don't remember completely. I don't want to say this if I don't know it.
The first time.
But yeah, no, temporary back tattoos where they had literal websites on their back.
The first time I've ever seen a temporary back tattoo, it was in a boxing match. And obviously, it had to have been in Las Vegas. Because I looked at that, and this was around when, maybe a year after I started boxing. And I just saw this, it looked like a marker almost, you know what I mean? Like a black magic marker, and it said goldenpalace.com.
That's the one I seen. I seen that.
And
yeah,
I thought I don't, this is a unique
hey,
tattoo to get. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Seth, I don't know if like we seen the same.
It was a black
boxer? Okay. No, it was a white guy. But okay, so Golden Palace obviously was like with multiple fighters.
Yeah.
But that exact tattoo that you would have seen, I seen on other
goldenpalace.com. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's a fucking weird tattoo to get. I was like, did someone actually
how much money do you got to pay me to tattoo Golden Palace?
Exactly. And then next thing you know,
considering it sounds like a strip club.
You exactly. And then you see the guy fucking fighting later, and then he doesn't even have a back piece.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much fucking money that guy.
I'm curious to look into how much money they actually made off that shit.
I believe actually the second guy I seen with a back tattoo in my life of watching fight, I believe it was because he's crazy enough to do it. The guy is putting hair extensions into his fucking head like a moron, and it's falling out in the ring. His name is Paulie Malignaggi. I believe he has.
You're calling out Paulie Malignaggi now too?
Yeah. Because
what do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, because he was the other one that I saw, and then he wore extensions. They were falling on the fucking ground.
I didn't know we were getting this conversation, but okay, so Paulie Malignaggi
allegedly had a back tattoo, and that's what
I actually never seen that though.
I think he had one at one time. I think he.
Do you know which fight it was?
Oh.
Potentially, which fight it was? Like how long ago it was?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't. I'm sorry, folks, but no, I can't pinpoint. Arturo Gatti never had one, eh? He might have.
I don't remember. It was nothing obviously new. That's my whole point.
That's more of a Vegas thing, man.
That's my whole thing. Is,
shit.
Yeah,
Nevada shit.
I have not seen, like a fight recently that has had any of this.
Not one.
And I don't know when it stopped or why it stopped or anything like that along
those lines. Or when it started.
But temporary back tattoos were a thing, and I'm curious like as to how much they got paid for it, because I would tune in. I'd be like, holy shit, this guy got, like you said, goldenpalace.com tattooed on his back. Like, what, they got to pay him like $1 million for that?
I thought it was permanent.
That's what I thought too.
Like, what the fuck? Oh, why? Like, you work for it and then... Like, fuck.
Well, anyways, okay, so we are totally looking forward to UFC 51. I think it's one of the greatest fights that we could...
Big night.
...ever have this year, especially with the circumstances. Like, Dana White has done an incredible job of, like, putting together anything.
With Fight Island.
The other fights coming up, Ryan Garcia versus Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's great stuff in boxing going on. Tyson Fury... I'm assuming is fighting soon again as well. I think he's fighting Tyson Fury. He was on a 3-fight contract, or he was on a rematch clause with Deontay Wilder. But he's definitely going to fight Anthony Joshua soon.
Yep.
Which is a great fight. Andy Ruiz, I hope he comes back, but he's probably eating tacos right now.
I don't think he's in the picture anymore, man.
He's not. But I hope he is soon because I love Andy Ruiz.
Hey, man, everyone loves the underdog, but hey, if you're not, enjoy more cheese fries for me. That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We love you, Andy Ruiz. But,
yeah, exactly.
Besides that, we're looking forward to a great night of fights. We thank you for tuning in for the first episode. And before we go, Seth has something special planned that he's been waiting for a certain individual. I hope your fume is still up, but we've been waiting to call out a man.
A certain individual. We won't call him a man. We'll call him a certain individual.
I'm just going to let him take it away. But
A Dodger.
Okay. Take it away, Seth. He wants to fight him. This is his. He's reached out. Go ahead. He's reached out to him on certain social media.
6 years. For 6 fucking years. 6 years I've reached out for Charlie Zelenoff. The motherfucker lives in Hollywood. The motherfucker has seen me, message him many times, block me on Facebook, delete my messages, delete my message on Instagram. I hope he sees this night. I say let's set it the fuck up. He goes out and he fights Deontay Wilder, a pro fucking boxer, a heavyweight champion. There's someone that would just look at me and I would fucking run for the fucking hills and shit my pants. And Charlie Zelenoff fucking runs, doesn't even want to converse with me when I try to... Charlie Zelenoff, you piece of fucking dog shit. You get in contact with me. I hope you see this. Let's set it up. I'll pay for your ass to come to Sarnia, you bitch ass. That's all.
All right, you heard it here first. Charlie Zelenoff.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of Trash Talk with Devin. We will be back. Everybody. We will be back. I'm here with Seth today. We're looking forward to the next upcoming weeks because there's a lot of great fight news. So, thank you.
Awesome. See you, folks.